Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, and thanks for stopping by. Welcome to Starbase Weekly, the RGV aerial deep dive into images he captured from the ground and air in Boca Chica, Texas. Our dedicated team will guide you through with the latest updates and theories at Starbase, Texas. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the bell icon for future streams.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Starbase Weekly. This is episode, I believe, 42. And my name is Mauricio, and I'll pass this along to Indian Star.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 42. Lots of things happening, lots of things to show you. We got a full house. We're ready to do it. I'll hand it over to Max Q.
Hey, everyone. Glad to be back for another episode. And we got plenty of awesome new photos to go over this week. I hope you all enjoyed this episode. And with that, I'll pass it on to Zach.
Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to another Starbase Weekly episode. As Mauricio said, my name is Zach Golden, and I'm really happy to be here today. We got some awesome images to cover today, as always. Mauricio has been stepping his game up every single week this year, so we have some, well, I guess we kind of did this last week, but I'll let Mauricio talk about it. Mauricio did another flyover of the entire Starbase site on Thursday. And then he also did a flyover of the Massie's site on Friday yesterday when he went out to take ground pictures. So he did that using his drone. And I believe, I don't know, Mauricio, did you want to talk about that a little more? Updates for this week?
Yeah, so we did a flyover on Wednesday, the 5th of October. And we did Starbase and aerial images of Massie's, and then on yesterday we did drone video of Massie's as well as ground images of Starbase. So 2 flyovers of Massie's this week, and I think it's going to be like that moving forward if the weather cooperates. One thing I do want to mention is we got lucky this week because the weather deteriorated towards the end of the week, so it's a good deal. It's a good thing we got it done on Wednesday. It wasn't going to work out Thursday or Friday, so just wanted to throw that out there.
And so when you did your flyover with the drone, was this with the new drone or the same one?
Yeah, I upgraded to a different drone, and it's basically the same. It's a Phantom 4 Pro DJI drone. I think these are by far one of the best. I use them for my day-to-day business, but I needed to upgrade to a new drone to get more stable image and better video footage for you all without the we already had some issues with the previous drone. So I want to thank everybody that supported and the Patreon members, YouTube members that made this happen, make this possible.
And I don't think I have any of the video footage. If you want to send that over to me, we can show it. But yeah, we do have the images from the drone, and they're looking nice and clear. So this one, the reason you upgraded was because the other one was kind of falling apart, right?
Right. So we didn't want to have not to put it like that. We wanted to have an airworthy aircraft willing to, for these type of operations. The other one, basically, it's not. I wouldn't use it for this particular purpose.
That's just because you don't want it falling out of the air, right? With being on SpaceX property.
So one thing we do is we never fly above the property, so that's important to note. We always fly around the property, so basically over the water. So if something were to happen, we make sure that it's not going to harm anybody, or anybody's going to be in harm's way. And obviously, we follow our rules and regulations regarding the FAA. I'm also a Part 107 commercial pilot, so I'm able to do this legally for this particular purpose.
So what's your strategy? Do you program in a route around here so that you don't have to worry about where you're flying and you just control the camera, or do you actually fly and snap pictures at the same time?
Everything's manual. When I go out there, everything's manual. I want to make sure I have full control of the aircraft at all times. Usually when it's automated, you can automate it, but typically you want to have full control as soon as possible in case something happens with the drone. So
right. Yeah, I have a Mavic. I've had several of them, and the reason is because I fly manual. That's why I have several of them. So an example of mistakes that I've made is, trying to do an orbit around a site like this. And this pole back here, in my case, was a flagpole. It was really, really tall. And it was like one of those huge flags, too. It was like way up here. And so I got wrapped up in the flag when I was doing an orbit around because I was looking down at the ground trying to take pictures. So yeah, now I fly the route ahead of time and program it, and then do the recording after just to eliminate risks. But I don't think I'm as skilled with drone piloting as you are, probably. At least not with these types of drones. Racing drones is a different story, but I feel like these types of drones are a completely different class.
Yeah, it's I have a lot of practice flying this particular drone, so it's not an issue for me. But yeah, it's going back to the programming and all that. Yeah, it takes practice, just like anything else. It takes practice to do all that.
Right. Well, it's these, like I said, these shots are looking great, and I did want to cover the aerial images, they're both aerial. The ones from the plane, however, these ones are so much closer, so I'll just use this. But as you guys can see, there is still some more earthwork going on at the Massie site. So we have some trucks offloading gravel, and then you have another huge pile over here of a different kind of dirt. So yeah, they're offloading tons of dirt here, and I think they've even started bringing in more dirt on this side again. So they cleared it out at one point, and now it's back. I'm starting to get the feeling that this is a form of a dump, like for dirt, so everything that they rip out, they just bring it here. We've kind of said this before, but then they removed all of this and cleared it up, and now it's back. So I'm guessing that's what's happening, is it's coming from other places. And we have concrete, it looks like, that's been broken out. So I have a feeling this is coming from the launch site, and we will get into that later. Actually, if you guys saw the tweet that I posted before this, about a half hour before we went live, you could have seen the concrete that's gotten removed under suborbital pad B. We're going to get there a little later in the show, but if you've seen that tweet, then you know what I'm talking about, why there potentially is all this concrete in here. So yeah. Other than that, we still have. Oh, I almost completely forgot about the E-Dome.
We got a whole test tank there.
Yeah, it's been a while since this test happened. So this is the first time we've seen the E-Dome since the test where the top got blown off. If you guys haven't seen that video, I'd probably have to get somebody to send it to me in the background here, and then maybe I could show it one more time. But so last week we had that test where Mauricio was flying over and caught it mid-test, and then when he landed, Lab Padre went and got some footage of it as it was exploding. And initially we thought maybe it was exploding around the rim, the actual weld, but it looks like that's not the case. So we have some aerial images of this, or like directly overhead images. I keep saying aerial as if they're not all aerials. Sorry about that. Still early in the morning for me.
Well,
Let me get straight to the image.
to your point, they're not all aerials. We have ground as well.
Very true. So we have. Let me show this really quick. This is what it looked like previously or last week. So you can see what the top of the dome looked like. Just a standard dome. But right now, this is what it looks like.
It's got a hole
And
in
shout
it.
out to Mauricio for getting directly over this thing. Wow. This is amazing. So you can see this. I believe this was on top of it. I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah,
Max Q, do you know?
Yeah, no, I believe that definitely was on top of the test tank.
So there was the cap, and then this was welded onto the cap, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, we thought maybe it broke around the edge of the dome weld, but it looks like it just literally popped the top clean off. So that's pretty interesting. That wasn't what I was expecting at all. What do you think?
So from what I can see, there's probably going to need a bit more reinforcement on the caps for future domes like this. Because it seems to be a bit of a failure with the welder. But apart from that, the rest of the tank looks pretty, like it held up pretty well.
I mean, it's kind of unfortunate that it failed right there because, I don't think, you would think it'd be as simple as just welding another cap on, but doing that wouldn't be, it would be like a fix, and that's not like how it would actually function in real life. So you would never have, like, if you pop the top of a dome during testing on like B7 or so, well, I take this back. If they did this on B7, they would just replace it. So with that being said, they might as well test their ability to replace things and just fix this one. But I think we have evidence that they're building an entirely new one. So we will check in on that a little bit later in the show. But yeah, for now, we are pretty sure that this did not go the way it was planned to, because this is probably not where you would expect it to fail. And I think you actually expect it to fail closer to the bottom, where the hydrostatic pressure is the highest. But yeah, this is definitely interesting. It's also funny to see that valve assembly or whatever still sitting up there.
I'd definitely be interested to see what the bottom of this actually looks like, to see if it is actually still in one piece or not.
The bottom?
Yeah.
Huh. Yeah, because the attachment on the bottom is similar to the one on the top.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. And as we mentioned last week, this was designed to empty out of here. So they had this is a weird vent. I don't know what that's about, why it's facing itself. That gives a special kind of effect when the liquid nitrogen comes out of there. But it was designed to basically be drained slowly, but instead it popped and drained all immediately. And I was kind of assuming we would see at least some signs of it within the plant materials, and you can definitely see it over here. The little mobile shed looks fine. I don't see any damage to the backside of that as far as like paint goes. But if you look at, and you can even see it from this angle, all of this stuff used to be green right here. And you can see its original color right back there. So you had a wave of nitrogen come over the berm, essentially. Somehow these trees really don't seem to have gotten hit too bad. So I guess this little berm did its job and sent it all over that way.
Or maybe the trees aren't real. You never know.
Oh, wow. Fake trees. Interesting.
Yeah.
That's a conspiracy right there. Hashtag FaceX uses fake trees. You can even see it on the berm as well too right here. It's I think so. I think that it's not really. I think this is just like a bare area. It's a little yellow though. But it's their property. They can do what they want. It's in the backside of the trees over here too. So anyways, excuse me. What else do we got going on over here?
We got some interesting new things near the cage there. Some new framework.
Let me get a better angle on that. It is really hard to see the angles from these thumbnails. Maybe this one will work.
Kind of. It's right behind the.
Is this?
Yeah, that's the one.
Ah, shucks. All right, let's get one more one more turn. Okay. Do you know what this is?
I was hoping you'd know the answer to that one.
Well, this is my first time seeing it. I do not. I'm sorry. I'm still searching for the perfect angle of it. No idea. But maybe it could be connected with the other mystery parts that we had on the other side over here, which are still sitting down in this position. The little gate-looking objects, plus the pieces that look like they could be for the claws, which is another thing we'll have to touch on a little bit later.
If you look to the left, there's another few more pieces that have turned up as well, right in front of that truck there.
Ooh. Those look fun. That looks like I'm thinking of a larger version of that roller coaster ride where you it's like a huge, I'm going to call it a pendulum. The seats are down here and then it swings in a circle, and the seat rotates with it.
Dragon swing.
Yeah, I think maybe. I can't think of the actual name of it, but the way I see these right here, it looks like something would like rotate in between them. But
they
wow, yeah, those are pretty large.
Like they kind of look like they roll along on rails as well. If you look at the bottoms of those.
Oh yeah, good point. Like yeah,
see rollers.
Dang, that would be something really large on a rail. Huh.
It's not another type of gantry crane, is it?
Could be, but the gantry cranes inside of the Star Factory are all they're actually bridge cranes, so they're mounted above overhead, whereas the ones that were in tent 1 and 2, they were on the ground. So now that I think about it, this could be the feet of the gantry crane that was in tent 1.
That would make sense, actually.
I think that's what it is. Yeah. So I guess tent 1 is getting slowly emptied out even more. I don't think I know that these parts aren't from there, but that definitely is. I think if I could pull up this scene from the Everyday Astronaut tour, we could prove that that's what it was. But I'm not going to go through all of that effort right now. So was there anything else out here, Max Q, that you wanted to touch on?
I noticed it's nothing major, but I noticed they moved parts of the old ship stand, test stand to this side as well.
Really?
And they were to the left of those feet.
I gotta go back.
Look right on the end to the left.
Oh man. Test stand C.
Yeah.
Dang. I was kind of hoping they would actually build that soon. I guess not. But there is not to say that they may have a test stand here, which the test stands, the Raptor test stands. I mean, there's nothing to say that you can't build one that looks similar to the suborbital test stand, because they kind of do in a way. It's just 3-sided instead of 6. It's like half of a suborbital test stand in a way. You know what I'm talking about? The horizontal test stand. Yeah. We're just looking for signs that they're actually going to do this here. We haven't seen it yet, as far as building a Raptor test facility out here. But every week we're going to look for signs of it until we actually see it. But other than that, I don't think we have much to cover here. They finally moved the launch mount umbrella pieces here, because these were at the launch site for a while, right?
They've been moved all over the place.
Yeah, they don't know what to do with them for some reason. This is like the graveyard of like weird things.
Seeing more stuff being moved here as well is definitely making me think that this isn't going to be turned into a Raptor test site anytime soon. The more they keep filling it up with.
Yeah, I would have to agree with that. I mean, because this is the larger side of it. Like, if you were gonna, you would think that it would be on this side instead of that side, honestly. But yeah, you're probably right about that. It feels like they're just clearing out Sanchez and sending everything here.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, let's swap over to the Sanchez site. Before we go there, do we have any questions, Indy?
No questions as of yet, but we do have some donations.
Yeah, let's go ahead.
We have a $2 donation from Jim Cavett, who started us off this weekend, and he wrote, "Happy weekend, y'all." And then Hone Win came in with 11.99 euros, and he made a funny comment that I don't quite understand. And then Jim Cavett again came in with a free membership that was gifted to just Ryan.
Yeah.
That's it.
And I saw somebody, Rocket Prophet, asked about the if the new hippo was still here. Yeah. I don't read the chat often. I do when you're reading questions, so it's very distracting for me to look at the chat. But when there's a good chance, I do look at it. So yeah, it's still sitting right here, Rocket Prophet. So, off to Sanchez, huh?
And Jeff just came in with a 20-pound donation too. Thanks, Jeff. He said, "Episode 42 for Max Q Mike Fund."
Appreciate it, Jeff.
Thank you, Jeff. And wow, yeah, episode 42. We're getting close to 10 more, and then we're at a full year. I think we started in what is it?
52 is a full year, no?
What? I don't do math when I'm not at work. You guys know what it is. But we're getting close to that full year mark. So it's been pretty awesome doing this here with you guys every week. I think we're actually closer than we believe we are, because we've missed a few weeks. So yeah, we're probably getting really close now. So thank you to all of you who have been here every week. And even if you're only able to come here, when you have time, I'd still appreciate all of you being here and, taking the time to learn about the stuff that's going on at Starbase that you don't just get to see when you're, watching daily videos or even on the live streams. So, yeah, thank you guys for being here. And with that, let's get to the only 4-way stop in all of Starbase.
Woohoo!
Man, this was clean last week. The numbers were nice and fresh, but you can tell that doesn't last long here. But there hasn't been a whole lot of activity well, actually, I take that back. There kind of has been. They finally poured that pad for Booster 8. We took a vote last time, and everybody thought Booster 8 was going to go here. So we'll just go ahead and run with that assumption. As you can tell, it does appear to be missing the actual pads, but I think this is just a tarp that's covering it, and I don't know if these are holding it down.
I think the pads are already there, because they were all piled up nearby this pad.
Yeah, they were. All gone. I think they were sitting right here.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. So they moved them in there pretty quickly. So, a few more days, this thing will probably be nice and cured. Actually, it probably takes a while to cure, because this was a 6 or 7 foot deep pad or something like that. But, whenever they get that cryo test done on Booster 8, I have a feeling it'll come here directly after that. Which is kind of sad. I mean, if it's able to fly, might as well. But I think they're ready to move on to Booster 9, it appears. But more on that later.
Yeah, currently Booster 8 is doing its best impression of Booster 4, where it's just going to sit at the launch site for God knows how long.
Yeah, it's back and forth pretty much every single month now. So hopefully this is the last time we will see, though. I don't know much about these test structures. I think this looks the same as last week. I don't know if you've noticed any differences over here, Max Q. Oh, hey, look, it's Chief.
Hey, Chief.
From what I've seen in ground photos, it's just been a case of just getting more wiring done and plumbing done on it, and that's pretty much it. Just getting everything connected up.
Nothing too exciting, but we do have all of the. I think the ropes were hanging down last time, but they weren't actually connected. I don't think. I could be wrong.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so they're actually. I mean, who knows? They could be doing this test right now, and we probably wouldn't even know unless it just cracked.
Or Mauricio happened to be flying over again.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know how we would tell. I don't think there'd be a way of knowing that it's happening.
There was one component they actually removed from this. If you look at the top of the photo there, you can see the black rod, and that that was placed horizontally inside of the test structure, and then they removed it for some reason.
Yeah, was it diagonally, like right here?
Yeah, roughly in that sort of position, I think.
I would comment on it, but I don't even know what it is.
Yeah, I'm in a bit of a loss with it as well. It's a bit of a weird one.
Yeah, maybe Jax will join us later and let us know his thoughts on that. But oh wow, so this is one of those weeks where I haven't had a chance to actually look at things ahead of time fully. But if you guys remember last week, this little lot over here, they had all of the transport stands right in this corner, but now it appears that they've moved them all. Oh gosh, where was I? They moved them all back here, so they're just shuffling transport stands around. And it looks like, man, they're really clearing a lot of area back here. I'm having a feeling that we're getting more concrete soon. That's kind of what it looks like, that they're clearing area for that. I mean, look how nice this looks right here. I don't remember it looking like that. So I think we probably have, let's just look at this from this view. Maybe not. I was thinking that this road would go through here because it kind of looks like it already does, but they don't have any drainage set up in there, so it's probably not going to happen. And on that note, they also don't have drainage set up past this point. So they probably are going to have to do that first before they think about laying a road down. So I guess I take back my previous statement.
Before we move on a bit too far, I've just seen a comment from Jeff in the live chat. He thinks that rod over by the can crusher may be to help keep the ring shape, to stop it crushing in itself at all.
Oh, you don't want the can to get crushed on the can crusher?
Yeah.
Some horizontal stabilization or collapse. Yeah, that makes sense.
Anti-collapse? Is that a new thing?
I'm just making stuff up, guys.
I love
it. Just kidding. So the that does make sense. Thanks, Jeff, for that. I forgot what I was looking for over here. But what I was saying is that it initially looked like they were starting to clear up everything in here, but it just looks more and more crowded every time I see it. Honestly, it looks nicer, but it doesn't really seem like too many things are actually moving to Sanchez from here. It's like they're coming from moving to Massie's from Sanchez. It seems like things are moving to Massie's from other locations. So it's like they've exceeded their space at Sanchez, and now they're taking up space at Massie's for the same thing, which is just storage. But we got some good news this week. It looks like this transport stand right here is finally getting some love. So let's take a look at that. So
that is great to see.
yeah, we've been waiting for this for like, I don't know, 2 months now. This transport stand has basically just been sitting here for a while because they didn't need one for Booster 9. And they do need one for Booster 10. So the fact that they're working on this right now is a sign that we should be expecting Booster 10 developments soon. I'm seeing these. I can't decide if these are regular ladders. There's some weird looking items up here that I'm noticing.
That wouldn't be anything possibly to do with the walkway on top, would it?
Okay, that's just this. This is scaffolding right here.
Oh yeah, that's just scaffolding, but yeah, the other thing might be related to
Maybe
the
I have
walkway.
another angle of it. This is probably the best angle because it's far away. I mean, that almost looks like the plate that the stabilizer pin bolts to a little bit. Like
That's a good point, actually.
it's just in a weird location. I'll have to keep an eye on that one. But we don't even know if they're going to use stabilizer pins on the new ones, right?
Yeah, I was just about to say that. With Booster 9, it's going to be slightly different because there's no HPUs on the side of the thrust section. So yeah, the way they stabilize the booster when it be lifted up and down may be changing slightly.
Do they still have the insert for where the stabilizer arms would go? Where it would go on the outside of that? Oh, okay.
Not on Booster 9.
Interesting. Well, let's go back over to Sanchez really quick because I just noticed something. So we've been keeping an eye on this area just to see like what they're pre-assembling, and we got this weird curved-looking section right here, which kind of looks like it's meant for one of the kettle boilers. But let's just take a look at the launch site really quick. We're not going to go too deep into stuff at the launch site, but just take a look at them for a brief second. Actually, hold on. I'm gonna need a. It almost looks like one of the start of one of these. I could be wrong.
I'd say that there's maybe the curve's not quite enough, is it?
No, it's not. Okay, I take it back.
I mean, I could definitely see why you thought that, though.
Yeah, I mean, the flange isn't right either. I'm just hoping that we get the new ones out here soon, but looks like it's going to be even more time. So let's continue on back to the Sanchez site before I get too distracted by the launch site. Y'all know how that goes.
They don't call you Stage Zero Zach for nothing.
We have even all those flex hoses that we saw that were laying out on the ground are now on this trailer. And so we initially thought that these may be replacements for the ones on the QD, but it looks like now that we see them all in one location, it does seem like this is the full package for the original QD. I'm not sure why they had them split out before, but yeah, or even why they're keeping them. You'd think they'd just send them back and recycle them or something, but I guess you could say that about most of Sanchez. Very true.
They really don't.
I mean, they're preparing for permanent storage of something in here, or not permanent, but some shelving racks for something in here to try and clean it up a little bit. They're going to be similar to these ones right here, I'm guessing. And we've been waiting for another tank to come through, but we have not seen it yet. But we did see, Mauricio, you captured something on your way leaving Starbase the other day, right?
Well, capture. I think it was the.
Was it a tank that was coming into Starbase or something like that?
Oh, you're talking about something else. I'm not even sure what that was because I was just driving on the highway and I saw something that looked like it might be headed towards Starbase, but it just could have been something else.
Well, we might as well take a look at it really quick. I'm trying to find it.
Was it at night?
I think so. And it was wrapped up.
Yeah, it was when you went to go and try and catch the Booster 7 rollout, I think, on Friday. I've got it saved here somewhere.
Wait. Is this it right here?
Yeah,
Oh no, that's the.
it looked like that.
Okay, so
Is
did
it?
they? Was it leaving the launch site or coming to it?
No. That's something else. That used to be sat down the other end of Sanchez in that little area that they built up. I've
But it
just put
almost
the.
looks like they're packing it up to leave.
It's possible.
So maybe that's what he saw leaving.
The one that he saw had ribs on the outside of it. I've actually just shared the photo for you.
Here we go. Thank you.
It might not even be related to Starbase at all whatsoever. Somebody sees a tank and it's like, okay, it's headed to Starbase.
You never know. We got to investigate all leads. Well, it doesn't look familiar, but you never know. Maybe it'll make another appearance.
Looks like the one on the left versus the one on the right.
A way smaller version.
Way smaller,
Yeah.
yes.
Cool. Well, yeah. I guess. I do admit it doesn't really look like it's going here, but you got to take pictures of anything that looks suspicious, and just so we can cover all bases, make sure we don't miss anything cool that's about to show up.
If you go back to the long tank again, there's actually something new there, some new mystery object.
Over here?
So go to the right a little bit. That big black thing by there.
I don't even know what to think of that. Yeah, I've got no ideas for that one. And it might be a part of whatever's in here too, but these kind of look like a ship stand. Interesting.
It turned up about just under a week ago, I think. But yeah, this is the first time we've seen it in any sort of real detail.
Is that width wide enough for one of these long pipes to go on? Like it underneath to cradle it? Like it could be a Ferris stand?
Well, I would have to see how you're imagining that. It's kind of hard for me to visualize it. You mean like this, like on these? You're saying like cradle it with these?
Yeah, so like you would lay that big long pipe into the little U shape of the black thing, and it would hold it up, be like a stand.
Be a pretty overkill.
All right.
I like the thinking, but I don't know. I have no ideas for it, so any guesses are good. If you guys have any guesses, let me know. I'd be surprised if somebody can actually come up with a use for this thing. But yeah, one thing I wanted to mention that I guess I was probably wrong on, as far as the storm drainage, it looks like they're about to do that in the rest of Sanchez as well too. So with all of this being moved here, I'm guessing we will see the rest of Sanchez get paved over as well, at least the main driving portions of it, probably within the next month or two. This part will take a little bit, or at least a few weeks. So, and with that, what? Go ahead.
Might have another four-way junction. Never know.
Right. Well, this is going to be like a fork right here. Fork. 2 forks. I think. You never know. So let's move on from the Sanchez site. Andy, did we have any questions from here before we move on?
We have 2 questions, but one of them is about the OLM and the other one is a goofy question. Would you like them both? Or should I wait for the OLM? I'm going to just ask you the goofy one.
We'll see if it's answerable.
Okay. So Rocketman asks, will the OLM have covers on the outer circumference of itself under the awnings?
Oh, I hope so, but probably not.
Really? You don't think so?
Probably not.
Oh.
No.
I thought it would too. I'm with you, Rocketman.
I mean, from what I can see, they're protecting each component on the outside of the launch ring individually. So I'd say that we won't see that big a shielding at all.
I'd have to agree with that.
All right. And then the other goofy question is, will episode 42 answer the ultimate question of life, the universe, and everything? 33 Raptors is asking.
I wish we were that good, but maybe we'll get there one day. Right now, I don't think we are.
I think when Elon comes,
Ne-
that'll be the day.
Never
that
say
would be
never.
amazing.
And then I got one more question for you from Rocket Profit. Do we know why the hold down clamp was removed and then reinstalled a few hours later? And was the reason for the aborted lift, is that the reason for the aborted lift on B7?
Yeah, I guess that's one that we're going to have to get to later. Pretty
Sounds
far
good.
ahead. Yeah. I will write that one down and we will touch on it when we get there.
I got you.
So the wide bay, we talked about this last week, that they were going to start building a new structure on the backside of this pad. And it looks like that has happened. I've kind of been watching this on Raptor Roost all week just to see, number one, how tall it was going to be, just so we can get a better idea of what they're actually going to put here. And thanks to Mauricio, we got some fantastic ground images of it. So let's take a look at it. So first of all, just so you can get a scale of the actual building itself, how tall it is, and then how tall this is at the bottom. Yeah, that's probably a good, almost 20 meters up in the air? Because I think these are 10, 10. So this is like roughly 18 meters or so, I'm guessing. Pretty tall building. And it's looking like they have a very large attic space, I guess you could call it. So potentially for HVAC. And we kind of talked about this yesterday, whether that would be HVAC for this building itself or for the Mega Bay. But, given that the Mega Bay is an open structure, I don't think they have that kind of HVAC in there. They probably do on the roof or in the office upstairs. But installing HVAC all the way down there just to route it up here probably doesn't make that much sense. So I imagine their HVAC is probably somewhere in this upper part of the building and also not installed yet. So, but yeah, here's another angle of it as well. Man, this is cool. I was almost wondering if it's possible. I don't think there would be a reason for this, but like tiny gantry cranes to go across, or bridge cranes to go across this, but that's probably not what's going to happen. I'm excited to see this get finished because I think this is possibly the one thing that's in the way of the Star Factory continuing. So removing tents 1 and 2, in my opinion, probably depends on this. So number one, this area will most likely have some shelves in it, similar to what you see out here, to actually store all these booster parts on. But beyond that, I mean, you can already see, let's look at that from a different side. So this is one booster worth of shielding, kind of. It's not all of it. There's definitely stuff missing here. But you can see that other than these 2 racks right here, it doesn't really take up that much space. It's mostly other shipping containers. I'm sure they're storing like small parts like hoses and stuff in here. But you can fit most of this stuff, probably like 2 or 3 boosters worth of that within this one pad. So I have a feeling it's not just for storing those types of items, and it's actually also going to be for Raptor storage. And that would require them to cut a hole through the back side of the building, which hopefully we would get to see done before the outside walls get put on. But I have a feeling we won't even know that it happened unless we get a video of the inside of the building. Honestly, there won't be any way of knowing that it's there. We can just assume, though, I guess. So yeah, we're getting close to the end of the first hour. There are, looks like a little over 630 of you. So thanks for showing up early, everyone. If you haven't done so already, please do us a favor and hit that like button. Wow, 229 of you are already on the ball. So thank you to all of you who've done that already. It really helps us out with the YouTube algorithm. And we're glad all of you are here early. We got tons more stuff to cover. And I mentioned earlier in the chat, probably going to do something I don't normally do, which is talk about things that I'm actively working on for episodes. And that's going to involve basically all the shielding on the inside of the launch mount. So once we get to the launch site, we will do a little investigation and try and see what we can see on the inside of it, since Mauricio did such a good job of taking shots of the launch mount this week. But yeah, with that continuing on, we're going to hopefully see some more progress on this really quickly. I think they're moving on it fast. I think they're even working on it today. So that's going to be exciting. Maxie, was there anything you wanted to talk about outside of the Mega Bay?
Still going pretty much the same to me there. Obviously, they moved the grid fins again for some reason.
These ones right here, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and they also moved the old design ones. I'm trying to figure out where they actually moved those to.
Oh, right here?
Oh, they are still there.
Yeah, but I think they moved them again after the flyover.
That's
I
it,
think
yeah.
Jax had said that they went towards the scrapyard. I don't know if that's right.
Which is a bit of a bummer if they went straight to the scrapyard. I'm sure there's plenty of people out there who would love to have had their own grid fin.
I mean, I would take one, but I don't even think an F350 is getting one of those home. So, yeah. Oh, well, I guess if you had a trailer, I mean, I was thinking of just putting it on the bed. I was looking at this truck right here. If you had it on a trailer, you could probably get it home pretty easily. So yeah, it would be nice to take one. It's kind of weird that these platforms keep showing up because, from my initial understanding, I've kind of lost count how many are actually in there right now. I know there's 4 on the back wall and at least 2 on the front wall, but there's 4 of these out here right now, which is way more than we were kind of expecting. And I still think that there's pieces for more of them. Or are they all finally gone?
I'm fairly sure there was still some more curved beams sitting in there somewhere.
Yeah, I could have sworn here. There's got to be a better.
Well, I mean, the more of these platforms they put in there, the better, really. But creates a lot better access.
Yeah, I mean, we were hoping they were going to be on every single level, but in reality, there's not really a need for that. Or maybe there is, actually. Let's move over to the ground images, because that just reminded me of something interesting going on inside of the Mega Bay. So let's see where that is before I swap over.
You're talking about the scaffolding, right?
Yes, sir. So this would be Booster...
Booster 9's lock tank.
Oh, dang it. Why'd I do that? You can't see it from this angle. So Booster 9's LOX tank, and you guys can see in here where the top of it is, you can see that one of those platforms in there. We actually have a really cool render of what all of this looks like coming up soon. So be on the lookout for that one. Oh, what is that?
Yeah, that did catch my eye as well.
Conduit for something.
I think there might be another robot in that front corner, possibly.
In the front corner? That would make sense.
Yeah.
Interesting. Wish I could see that front corner really bad. But yeah, we have all of this scaffolding down here, which is very odd. They must be adding something, obviously, to the outside of it that they weren't able to do before. But that's just really interesting to see scaffolding inside of the Mega Bay at all.
Yeah, the first time I saw this photo, it reminded me a lot of BN1. When they first stacked that was completely surrounded by scaffolding like this.
When they were like welding it by hand?
I think so, yeah. Oh, yeah, they would have been.
Yeah, this is pretty cool. And it's wide, too. Like, this thing goes... It's not just up against it. It's wide. It goes around it.
From what I can make out, I think they're just trying to get everything done on Booster 9 as quick as they can, which is probably why they've set up this scaffolding.
It looks like the water tank at the tank farm.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's. What else we got on the ground over here? There's some. So when I mentioned the HVAC for this building, I would almost expect it to be above these bridge cranes. If there's space, I think there's space up there. I'm not 100% sure. But the reason I say that is because inside of the high bay, I don't know if you looked at it from that angle this week. I don't think we have a shot of it this week.
You need a shot of what?
Inside the high bay, I was like looking at it from this angle because you can see the if this was the high bay, you would see the HVAC at the top right corner, top left corner.
Oh no, I didn't get a shot of that this time.
Nobody cares about starships. But speaking of starships, we do have Ship 25 standing tall with Ship 20's 6's nose cone in the process of getting stacked.
It's at that point it was already stacked on top of the payload bay. That's not a payload bay.
Wait, what is that? Is this in the high bay or mega bay?
That's the mega bay.
Should be in the mega bay.
This is what I'm looking for. The nose cone. So these are the only black spots on the entire ship. 3 little freckles.
there is some on the other side as well, on the direct opposite side.
Oh yeah, good point. 3 little dimples or whatever you want to call them. Moles.
Yeah. Also, that last thing you were looking at in the mega bay, that's the B9
methane tank for booster 9.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like this has been sitting here for a while, and I don't think that we have a downcomer inside of booster 9 Slox tank yet.
Yeah, it's in there.
It's in there?
Yeah, it went in about, 3 weeks ago maybe.
Really?
Yep,
so it went in before it was stacked on top of the aft section? Yep.
I believe that's pretty much how they've done it for.
Goes in after.
No, that's how they've done it with all the last few boosters.
Well, we have somebody who can maybe clear this up. A ghost just appeared. Welcome, Jax.
Welcome, Jaxie.
Hey. How is everybody?
We're good.
Perfect. Well, I'm a bit late, but thanks for having me again. I guess we're over here at the build site.
Yeah, of course you're going to show up at the build site.
His spidey senses are tingling.
Yeah, I felt a disturbance in the force.
Yeah, I know how that goes. Trust me. Yeah. So what else do we got going on outside here, Jax? I'm pretty sure there's tons of interesting things this week. In particular, we wanted to ask you about the failed GSE tank, or not GSE tank, the failed E-dome. I believe you mentioned that they're building another one.
We have evidence to support that a new test tank has entered production. It's possible that it's a new E-dome. I mean, we know that the section, it was a reassigned quad that they just had sitting around for months. They started working on it 3 days after E-dome popped.
Oh, is that the one that's in the low bay?
No, that one's a whole different story. I can't even tell you what's going on there.
Well, do we have a good picture of it? I can show it.
I'm not sure if we got one of this specific section this week. It's over in the Star Factory, but
it's inside the building. Okay.
Yeah, so just keep your eyes out. It does sound like we're going to see another test tank showing up, so we're not done with that yet.
And I did want to talk about that other skirt section, even though you say you don't know what it is. Let me see if I can find it. Wait, this isn't it. I think it's right here.
Yeah, there it is. So this is...
What the heck?
Yeah. So this leg skirt was originally for ship 22. Then ship 22 took ship 23's leg skirt, and this guy was abandoned.
Wait, why do you keep saying leg skirt?
This is a 2-ring leg skirt for a ship.
But ships don't have legs.
Yeah, okay, but engine skirt. But yeah, it'd been abandoned for months, and we knew from a Jessica Kirsch live stream, a worker had mentioned that they were looking at putting this on top of Booster 6, the test tank over at Sanchez. And that idea had seemingly been ditched for months, but now we're seeing these new stringers get added, which is typical with something you'd see on the Can Crusher. So I almost wonder if Booster 6 hasn't been scrapped for a reason.
So
Yeah.
it's like an interstage connection test.
It's possible.
Is this the top of the? Is it upside down right now?
No, that's the right way up.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
The one thing I've learned now is don't count anything out,
yeah,
because it could come back at any moment.
it's really strange.
And so this is in the mid bay.
That's over in the mid bay, yeah. Yeah, and you can see they were welding on it during the flyover.
Oh yeah, see that little two welding sparks right there, adding on the. This was before most of the stringers were on there. Actually, it looks like.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wow, they did a lot of work that quick.
For sure. But yeah, that's going to be one to keep an eye on because they're up to something.
They're always up to something. Interesting. You know, I'm glad you showed up because my most exciting thing to talk about at the what I call the ring yard is the fact that they've been adding a bunch of paint onto the the circles, which I like paint, even though it's going to be faded next week. But what else do we got going on out here?
Well, I think one of the big events this week was just outside of the wide bay. They've brought the first section of Booster 10 out, staging it for stacking.
Is that this?
Yeah. So that's for the methane tank.
Oh snap!
So
let's have two. Well, so I'm guessing as soon the moment they stack 9's methane tank. Actually, now that Booster 7 is out, they can start doing this now, right?
It seems that they're just once one's out, they start the next. It's crazy how quick they're suddenly working.
I love it.
Yeah.
Hopefully they actually fly one soon. That'd be cool.
Gotta expand the rocket garden again.
I mean, it feels like they might be like that area up to the up to the right side in Sanchez. This is not what I'm talking about. The way that they're grading this down, it just seems like they're going to put something really, really heavy there.
That'd be cool. I mean, they're going to start needing more storage for vehicles as they get building them faster. You can't keep them in the bays all the time. So, yeah, maybe new pads would make sense.
Closer to the highway. I like it.
Yeah.
I will be keeping my eyes out for that. Sorry, I'm kind of all over the place. So what else do we got at the wide bay?
Well, I think you guys already covered Booster 9 I saw, which is yeah, they're definitely moving quickly on that.
The question was if the downcomer had been installed. This isn't for the downcomer, this is for the raceway, right?
Yeah.
So the downcomer was installed before it was lifted onto the aft section?
Yes.
Okay, cool. I forgot that comes first.
Yeah, I think off the top of my head, it was installed between the 23rd and 25th of September, but I might be wrong.
Interesting. So they're making progress on Booster 9. I feel like we may see it a full stack before next week is over.
I'd love that.
And we'd have 4 boosters at that point? Or 4?
Yeah,
4.
that'd be 4.
Man, it's crazy.
And
not a single one's flown yet.
Yeah, but I always like looking look how much the booster design has evolved without them even flying anything. It's pretty impressive.
Yeah,
They came a long way since BM1.
I've been thinking that a lot of it could be due to like simulation data. So
Yeah.
even though they haven't flown, they've been running a ton of simulations, and they're able to actually make changes without actually flying it, which is pretty wild. But also kind of expected, I guess, since the way that they're developing this, you kind of need to rely on it that way, or else you're going to be blowing up a lot of stage zeros, losing a lot of Raptors, and I don't think they have a lot of stage zeros or Raptors to lose. So
Yeah. But yeah, I'm definitely all for this simulating things and redesigning, because it's so cool to watch these new designs come into play.
agreed. I keep an eye on this side of this building to see if they're gonna do the same thing they did to the other side, like they did on this one. It's looking like it, but they're slow. Maybe
Yeah.
that's what this steel right here is for, the shorter ones. this
That'd be
building.
interesting.
Is that just drainage I can see on the right hand side, or is there more to it there? The squares in the ground. Assuming it's drainage.
Oh, okay, that wasn't the one we want.
So around the edge of those squares, it does look kind of new.
No, they still got to pour the concrete over here before they do that. You're talking about these?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Those could be like little squares, like the pegs for the, what do you call them? For embeds for the structural steel columns.
Could be, yeah.
They're about spaced out the same as these are, too. They're just further away from the actual building. Interesting. I'm all for renovations, but I think we would have known this one was coming beforehand, because we knew this one was coming, because they filed those papers in the for Mauricio. Where were those papers filed?
I did a FOIL request with the county. Oh, what are you referring to? The
Right, and that request is how we found out about this before it happened, right?
I believe Thomas might know a little bit more about that. I basically got the forms and I sent them over to Thomas so he can review them, and I think he's the one that said that he found some interesting stuff
Yeah.
for the documents.
Yeah, I think if we knew about this one, that we would also know about the other one, because they would have listed it in that same report. So maybe they aren't extending that anytime soon, but it does look like it. So we'll keep an eye on that. But let's hop over to the Star Factory, and before we do, I'm pretty positive we have some questions in the chat and some donations to touch on. So Indy, I'll let you take that away.
Sure, we got lots of donations. We have some very generous people in chat. Sharpie started off the donation train with $10 and says, keep up the good work. Rocket Profit joined in with $10 and says, ditto. Yazada comes in with another $10 and says, it's Sharpie's fault. He started this. And then Joey Bag of Donuts came in and he says, I got your dittos right here. Then we got Peanut, who came in with $10 and he says, doing the thing. Jake Winlow came in with $10, said joining in. Jim Cavett came in again with another $10, and then Rocket Profit with another 10, and Pumpkin with 10 euros as well. And that is the donation train so far. Thank you guys so much.
Yeah, thank all of you for donating. We appreciate it. It definitely goes a long way into helping us upgrade the show every single week. So thank you to all of you. I said we were going to move away from the ring yard, but I have a feeling Jack's like, really already? We didn't actually talk about the high bay yet. So what's going on in there, other than we got a full stacked 24, 25's coming along. Anything new over there?
Well, yeah, as you said, 25's coming along nicely. I don't imagine it'll be incredibly long before we see that come out for cryo testing. But I think the big news recently has been Ship 26 starting stacking. But I know there's one angle that shows ship 26 pretty well. I'm not sure which one it is. I'll try to find it. And yeah, if you're not aware, ship 26 won't have tiles, flaps, a Pez dispenser.
Who needs those?
It's pretty much as simple as you can get. But hey, if it works, it works. I just don't know what needs to work. It doesn't do anything.
Yeah, I mean, it's safe to say Ship 26 is turning into probably the biggest mystery of the year in Starbase.
Yeah.
They are
So
vintage
yeah.
if they're nothing else, though, because what's going to be on E-Dome, or what's getting ready to go on the Can Crusher, excuse me. And
Yeah.
old barrel section.
Yeah.
Yeah, super old.
So yeah, you have ship 26 there. Actually, I'm going to tie this in together a little bit. If you look at the FTS box on ship 25 here, you can see it's opened up by unbolting all the panels on the front, and that's how they can access for installing the charges, doing all the wiring. And I know Mauricio has a shot in the ring yard of ship 26's common dome. Yeah. And they've redesigned these enclosures now with little hinged doors, so they'll be able to access the inside a lot easier.
Easy access to the explosives.
Yeah, if the FTS goes after those doors open.
They open first and then fire second.
Yeah.
You know, I've always been wondering about these because if you look at the boost, sorry. So these things look like they're so full that there's no room for a charge to go in there.
Yeah, that's kind of been my question as well. And if we're comparing it to the previous ships, the charges would have to be significantly smaller.
I guess with SN11, they realize that they don't need charges that are that big.
Yeah, it's a strange one.
A live test on that one. No simulation data there. So now, I mean, now they got these little cute little packets. They don't have these on the booster though, right? I've never seen FTS on the booster.
It's
yeah.
I think. Oh, go ahead. Yeah.
On the booster, it pretty much looks the same as they've got on the ships. It's those two long rectangles, and it's pretty much in the same place on either side of the raceway.
Yeah, it's
got to be up here, right?
It's just
just about
in
here.
there.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Dang. Learn something every day. I've never even been looking for them.
There is a question. A lot of people in the chat are asking if ship 26 is going to be a Pathfinder or for HLS, for the human landing
It's
system.
not for HLS.
I mean, we've been following ship 26 and providing the facts on it, but at least I know myself and the majority of our team, we don't have the slightest clue. It's a very, very strange article.
But can we rule out HLS?
I mean, it's probably not the most likely one, but I don't think it's fair to rule out anything at this point because I wouldn't have expected we'd see something like this, and here we are.
Here's my thing. If I was NASA and I was like, hey, can you guys build us an HLS mock-up? I would expect them to build a full mock-up and not be like, oh yeah, well, I guess we'll just take the tiles off this one and pretend that, these pins, which won't exist on the actual HLS, are here. Like what? It just wouldn't be right. You know what I mean? I don't think they would give. I'm searching for the right word to say this. It's hard to say without cursing, but just a half attempt at an HLS mock-up. Like they did way more on the last HLS mock-up as far as making it look nice, and it didn't have hinges or anything like that. So I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, it's it's a strange one.
If it was for HLS, we would see, it would have to have like port thrusters on the upper part of
Well,
the body, right?
I think when we say HLS related, a lot of people think what we see in the renders, the lunar landing engines, the legs, all that. But you could see something like some kind of flight dynamics test. So you're basically creating roughly what the HLS ship would look like from an aerodynamic standpoint, and testing out some things with that. Maybe different profiles, or I'm not sure. It's just HLS can be a lot broader than what it looks like in the renders.
Right. That makes sense. It
Yeah,
will be
the way
interesting to start seeing components for that, but
Yeah.
I mean, in my opinion, I would expect that their focus and NASA's focus for them would be to dedicate all their manpower towards getting to orbit before they even think about doing HLS mock-ups.
At the same time, though, Elon said the same thing about the payload doors last year. But if things are taking long enough, it's almost like they might just
You
say,
might
well,
as
we
well
don't.
do it, yeah.
Yeah.
So Disney Lover in chat asks, where'd it go? Oh, it's not a Pathfinder for a fuel tanker, right? They need a demo for that. They need to demo that for NASA by 2024, correct? So the fuel tankers that are going to go fuel up.
Yeah.
Or the actual depot itself.
One or the other.
Is that what
Again,
Wow.
I just feel like we're too early for that.
Yeah, I want to see more pieces of 26 come out as well, and maybe there'll be some hardware in them that might be telling of what exactly they're for. But who knows?
Have we seen any new details related to this stuff inside of the limited views we get in the Star Factory?
As bad as it is seeing inside
Look
of the
at
Star
that.
Factory, it could be a lot worse. So I'll give them that.
At least they cracked the door for you.
Yeah, inside of tent 3 there, the nose cone. Yeah.
Are there any views inside of here that you wanted to touch on?
I don't think there's anything major inside of the Star Factory. Yeah, there's that booster 10 piece right here, and I can't imagine it'll take too long to stack that together.
This is the only one out in the yard, right?
Yeah, that's the only one out.
All of these are for 27.
There's starting on the left, you have ship 26 is mid-locks. Yeah, I'll let you pull up a new photo if you'd prefer. So yeah, that's the mid-locks for ship 26 right here. Directly below to it, the section that looks nearly identical, just to the right. That's ship 27's mid-locks. They're basically identical sections. They could be easily interchanged.
What's this?
This is booster 12's aft sleeve, the thrust dome sleeve.
What's all this?
Well, I know the two big ones are for the QD. I'm not sure what the rest are for. Various pipes. I think the two facing directly towards us, I guess you could say, are for the autogenous coming out.
Yeah. Right.
And
Let's see that from the front.
And then I think the triangle of the hulls is what comes down underneath the QD panel. You've got that pipe hook that goes all the way down.
Yeah.
Wait, is this visible from the ground? Hold on.
I think he might have some photos of it, yeah.
Oh man, I think it's behind. I think it's behind there. I'm not gonna be able to see it. Yeah, it's out of view. Scrap that, or don't.
Yeah.
So yeah, we have, and what else do we have out here? This is still the old payload section, the Pathfinder,
Yeah.
and man, this is the least amount of rings I've seen out here in a very long time.
Well, they're building so fast. This is the kind clearing out this quickly. It's a good sign with how quick they're building
Yeah.
these things. And I mean, there are more parts of Booster 10 we know about that they're basically ready to come out into the ring yard. And yeah, this pace that they're moving at, it's pretty nice.
I
Yeah.
was just about to make the same comment about how bare it's looking out in the ring yard right now.
Yeah, I mean, while you don't have anything out here, it's a good time, I guess, to do all that painting. Yeah, it's weird though because with the Star Factory online, I would expect them to be keeping up with ring sections out here. I mean, who knows? They probably can have like more space to actually store stuff before bringing it out here. You know, like there could be things that are complete in here that don't need to be moved out. But most of the things in here should be domes, right?
There are a fair amount of ring sections too, and it's not just like a specific type. It's very random what's in there. There are payload bays, AT sections, booster methane sections. It's all very over the place.
I love this angle right here. This is sick. This is the best angle of the Star Factory, I think.
It's gonna
that
be
angle also reminded me as well of that new building and putting it on the side of the factory.
yes.
Yeah, we have. Well, let's work our way up to that building. We have all of this. The rest of the gutter drains have been, or the drains have been installed on the side of the building, so you can see there's just a ridiculous amount of them. I'm not even going to bother trying to count. And underground right here, you can see they are going to lay down some pipe right there to collect all of that. And then all of that combines underneath this pad and then goes out through here. There's a culvert down there. I can't see it in this angle. But yeah, all of that rainwater goes out through there. And so, yeah, they should have this, I'm guessing, done probably within the next week or so. It's probably a lot to tie in all of those to these, to the main pipe. But yeah, over on this side, where we have the aft flap concrete pad that's been added on to the Star Factory. Let's get a better angle of this. Do you guys have any idea what this is? Because I'm lost. It looks like a smaller version of what's on a shorter version of what's going to be on the in front of the wide bay.
It wouldn't possibly be for steel roll storage, would it?
Oh,
Interesting.
that's definitely an idea.
Just like a rack where you just.
Oh, I'm not sure they might just be directly on the ground.
Yeah. And I'm thinking they might do something with 10-4 at some point and move everything in there into the factory eventually. And that this new building on the side of the factory might continue the whole length.
Oh, you tile the flaps in the flap-shaped building.
Ah, that'll be quite something.
Wait, the flaps are tiled off site, right?
Oh, that's been a big misconception, but they're tiled on site in 10.4.
In here?
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, wow. Well, I initially thought they were going to expand this. I mean, this is also the bakery, right?
Yes, I believe. Yeah.
Or part of it. Like they're able to make custom parts in here, but most of them come in from Florida. But yeah, that I mean, if they do extend this, I could see that. It could even be like a receiving area for the entire building.
Yeah.
I
mean, it's in the right place for it, right at the start of the factory.
Let me see if we have a picture of this from the ground, because it would be a good idea to see how tall it is, I don't know if Mauricio has that angled this week or not. Let's see. I am not seeing it, actually.
Yeah, it should be there. I got a picture of it from the wetlands.
Oh, okay. Hold on. Maybe you can help me find it then.
It's right off, I guess, where the Booster 9 image was at that you were showing with the scaffolding. It's around that same area. You're going the wrong direction, I think.
Really?
Oh no,
The booster nines.
I guess a little bit to the left. Well, you know what? No, I don't think I actually
I feel
included
like
that
you
in.
didn't have that side of it this week.
I took an image of it. I just didn't import the image, so you guys.
Okay, it's not in here. Good.
No, it's
Thought I was going crazy. That is fine. So, anyways, returning back to that aerial view, then, yeah, I mean, continuing this on would mean that they have to demolish this, which would be interesting because they would also have to move all of this inside of there, which would make sense. I mean, why keep a tent for just this when you have a whole factory? So it would make sense. Your bakery right here, and then you're tiling your flaps in here. That'd be really cool, actually. It's just not very tall. That's the thing.
Yeah, and I feel like they might want something. I feel like the tiling might just go inside of the main factory because I can't imagine they don't want a bigger area. They're pretty size restricted or area restricted inside of Tent 4.
Yeah, see, that's why I thought this is probably just for steel rolls, just simply because of the height of it.
It's definitely possible.
It's just weird because if you, let's say it's just like factory space, right? You could get away without this middle beam right here, and you would just need, it's like a canopy, right? But this is very structural for something heavy. I don't know. I feel like there's going to be something in here that we're not expecting. Speaking of that, are these more pedestal cranes?
I originally thought so, but the more I've looked at those, the more they look like something else.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to.
We got a good ground shot of those as well, I think, or at least the uprights on them.
Oh, that's what those were.
That's it.
Yeah, it's hard to tell if they're cranes or not, but they don't really look like it. Interesting. Well, yeah, I'm not really sure what to think about these.
I did want to mention one thing, and it's just kind of weird. Those two arrow covers by the flap rack there, the just down into the left, the longer ones. The one closest to the rack, they took off half of it, like on the front. If you go to the ground photo, it's very visible. Like you see how it's tiled, but like the front on that one's just missing.
Yeah.
The one closest to us. It goes
This one?
tiles, and then it's just after about halfway to the left, it's just missing. The ground photo, yeah, it shows the panel or something.
Let's see the ground version.
Yeah, I can see it from here. I can see the shadow underneath it, looking straight through the side of that.
It's just in the bottom right of this photo. You can see that like they took off the front of the arrow cover to the right, yeah.
Oh wow. Okay. Dang, so they just completely disassembled it.
Which is strange because I didn't think they were bad or anything.
Maybe it's time for the new flat positions?
Oh, that'd be something, wouldn't it?
Yeah. That'd be.
I feel like we're a little bit out from there still.
Yeah. I thought that was kind of interesting.
And for those who didn't see it last week, this is finally, now that we got this view, this is where the drainage ends right here. So it goes from the side of the building and then out here. And for everyone who cares, they have 3 levers. These are kind of like a way of filtering the water as it goes out. you're keeping like large material from exiting by having it flow over these rocks on the way out. So
I was going to say zoom down a bit.
it didn't do the greatest job. It was a big rainstorm. All right, give them a break. But the point is that they tried. That's what matters. So, anything else over here at the Star Factory?
I'm not sure. I think that's about it.
Cool. We have anything outside of here? I haven't even looked outside of the building, though, in the front. Geez, still huge piles of stuff all over the place. Nothing really spectacular that I'm noticing out here that wasn't... Whoa. There's the other one of those things.
Another one.
Oh,
So we have a pair then.
What the
At
heck?
least.
so on the left side of it, they're bolting, like there are holes to put bolts. So I think it's on its back right now.
It's upside down? Oh,
yeah,
it's...
like if you
Yeah,
look
on
on
its back.
the left edge of it, there's a plate to bolt it into the ground
How can you see that?
from Rover 1 when it rolled past.
Oh. I was like, what? It almost looks like you would mount like a welding robot in between the top and bottom, but that seems like overkill just for a robot mount.
Yeah, it's kind of strange.
Oh, wait, could this be for welding ring sections? Is this like the perfect height of a ring section that they, as it's rolling through here, it gets welded?
I don't know. Huh.
Where's it? Is there some steel out here?
Probably just out of shot, down, straight down.
Man, there used to be steel rolls everywhere. Now when you need one, you can't find it. It's too clean out here. I can't find one. It looks about right, though. Wait, there it is. I don't know. If it goes in there, we won't find out again until if it happens to be visible when the doors open, or if Tim Dodd goes on a tour again. Hopefully that happens as soon as the Star Factory is finished. Somebody tell Tim Dodd to take another tour. We're going to need to figure this out. So what do we got going on outside of the, what's it called? Low bay?
Low bay, iron
They-
hinge,
um,
windbreak.
And sorry I'm stuttering so much today, everybody. I'm really excited to get to the launch site, as always. So I'm thinking about all these things in my head that we're going to talk about, but I don't want to skip ahead of all of the Starship stuff. What is this? Is this a
Well-
payload port that's been cut out?
This week, yeah, we got to see something very unique, and you can see that piece on the ground there and half of a ring connected to that crane or to that telehandler. And this is how they make the door panels. They make a single and cut it out of that, so you can see just
Wow,
at just at the bottom of that half a ring, you can see the edge of the door, like you can see the shape of the cutout.
Right here.
Same, yeah, and same
Yeah.
with that piece on the ground. And I didn't see it at first, but I think it was Rohan. If you look in the doorway of the low bay,
Wait.
Oh.
This is where they cut the cover out for ship 24.
I'm not sure. It might be a bit small. I think this is like a proper payload door.
Really?
Yeah.
If you go to the doorway of low bay, you can see it's sitting there on stands. That's
Oh man.
that's what they cut out. And I'll go on a small little side note. Speaking of low bay, I don't know if you have any photos of, or speaking of payload doors, I don't know if you have any photos of the scrapyard.
Oh, that's a fun one.
Which
That's a
scrapyard?
like the scrapyard.
One by the
near
high bay
Yeah.
or wide bay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very random. We found it. I'm not exactly sure which vehicle it would have belonged to. If you go to the photos just to the right of your little, oh, if that works too. Inside of the dumpster in the middle, that's a payload door. They cut up a payload door and threw it in a dumpster. Now I don't know where exactly that's from. My best guess is that was ship 26's, but I thought that was super
That's you, okay.
random. If you go 4 photos to the right. You can see the
It's in 2 halves or 3
Yeah.
bits. Well, it's actually in quite a few bits, but it looks to it.
Dang, I think this trash can's seen better days.
Oh yeah,
That's
it's
been
big.
overloaded.
Yeah.
The trash
What's
can's the
the
payload.
what's that conical ship piece to the right there?
I thought it looked like a header tank, but I'm not sure.
This.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a part of a header tank. The locks, or I could be wrong. I'm not going to guess on that. I don't know enough about interior starships to be doing that. So, so anything outside of the ground fabrication building? Let's move back over there. Oh wait, sorry. Were you done talking about the Lobe?
Yeah, that was pretty much the only cool thing that happened over there this week.
Yeah, it's less exciting out there right now, in my opinion. After that first launch, I expect to see tons of things pick up out here. And even in this area, I haven't seen too much happening. I mean, we still have the same Starship aft section or the Starship aft dome out there. And how long has it been since we've seen anything get flipped out here or sleeved?
Oh,
It
I-
was
it was
actually not that long ago, wasn't it? I think it was B10's or B11's thrust section might have been flipped.
But that was
yeah,
like more than 3 weeks ago.
that was 4 days ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we all missed it. We were like, wait, they flipped it?
I was going to start a conspiracy that they're doing it inside of the Star Factory somehow, but
Yeah, they're definitely clearing out the tents slowly. Both 1 and 2, but still a ways to go. They're not empty yet.
what's that?
A lot of colour going on there.
Preparing for Christmas.
Yeah, it does actually look like it.
I thought these were flex hoses for a second. I'm not going to go into why, but I did. So yeah, we still got all this steel sitting out here waiting to be formed into something. I mean, they don't usually just leave this out here where they don't have an immediate use for it. So I'm waiting to see what's going to get turned out of this building, but whatever it is, it's taking a while. They got a big project going in there right now. We haven't seen anything come out of here in weeks, but they're always busy. So there's definitely something big happening in there. Just can't figure out what it is yet.
Busy welding stands together there as well by the looks of it. On the
These down
outside of
here?
the building. Yeah.
Oh yeah, they're adding on the probably adding on the little triangle pieces that they have for the teeth that keep the ring on the stand. Yeah.
Oh, that's probably it.
Yeah, this place is boring right now. Let's go over to the village.
Before we go too far, do you want to have a question about the Mega Bay and
Nah,
Raptors? Okay.
Just kidding. Let's do it.
Oh, okay. Daniel Hogbin asks, where are they going to store the Raptors once they take down Tent 1? Is that what they could be storing in the backside of Mega Bay? At the backside of Mega Bay? In that new structure?
At least we're hoping so, or I'm hoping so. It makes sense to put it as close as possible so that we never know which Raptors are going in there. You don't have to, because right now they have to transfer them all the way around here to get into Tent 1, and that's kind of annoying. So if they could just go right behind the backside of the building and get the Raptors they need, or if they have an issue with one of them, they just take it back in here and do another pressure test on it and then bring it back out. It's really fast. So optimizing everything is really important when it comes to manufacturing. So I would imagine that this is it has to be Raptor storage.
And of course as well, they probably need the Raptor servicing in there as well, won't they?
Yeah, exactly. So there's a matter of fact, while we're talking, I'm going to go in the background and try and find the scene from Everyday Astronauts episode where he talked about, or where he was in the Star Factory with Elon, and they have Here we go. I think this is it right here. Oh, sorry, this is the wrong one, and I got to switch over. Actually, I'll let you ask some more questions while I'm looking this up.
I don't have a lot more questions, but I do have some donations. We have
Which one?
Nathan Weller, who donated $9.99 and says, always enjoy your insights and speculation. Then John Dopker came in with $10, and he said, you bet, but I'm not exactly sure why. Rocket Profit came in with another $25, and he's giving it to us for the 420 likes the stream hit. So thank you, Rocket Profit. We appreciate all of you very much. And I see you found what you're looking for.
Yeah. So this structure right here is the it's better to see right here. This is the Raptor testing station, and so he actually gets a little bit okay. He gets a little bit closer to it, and you can see that you know, number one, they have to be able to lift Raptors up into there, and then they also have their diagnostic center up there where they are most likely actually connecting all of the other things that go on the Raptor and then testing it, because when they ship them out here, they're kind of naked in a way. Like, they make it seem like, oh yeah, this is the new Raptor slimmed down, but while it is slimmed down, there's still pieces that have to be added on before it goes onto the booster. So this is where they add those on and also test them. So this structure right here needs to be moved over to that other building before they can demolish this tent, in my opinion. So yeah, that's all I wanted to say about that.
So then I got a question about the same thing. So Flynn Ryan asks, when Starship Factory is 100% complete, how much more space will SpaceX have versus the 3 tents?
That's hard to answer. I'm not really 100% sure on those numbers. Jax, do you know, or Max Q?
I am not 100% sure on the numbers, but from like just drawing it out, like getting rid of the space between the tents and adding on the whole new building, it's a lot.
It's like double the size, right? Because
you're probably getting near double.
Yeah.
Because the other thing got to take into consideration as well is obviously with the tents you've got curved, slanted roofs. With the factory, it's all nice and flat and even.
Right.
You gain that little bit of extra room as well.
Yeah, and so the other thing, like without having these aisles in between it, the building will probably cover that entire space. We don't know 100% sure if it's going to go all the way up to this edge right here, or if if it'll only be up to here with a parking lot. But honestly, I would assume that would be the way to do it, is one section right here, the one section that ends right here, and then there's a massive parking lot right there, because they really do need a parking lot. So I would assume that it might end up being right there. But I mean, what do you think? Because if we expand this thing by 3 times, where does that get us? Hold on, I'm looking for another angle. It probably takes us to the middle of this tent, if I had to guess. So then you'd have a nice big spot for parking. I mean, because look at this. Look at their parking situation right now.
It's horrid.
It's not the greatest.
You can you can do an underground garage and use your Cybertruck boats to get around in there.
Only briefly. Only briefly.
Oh man, yeah. But that's a great question though, about how much space they have. It's a lot. It's definitely. I mean, even just having this building active while the other 2 are being emptied out. I mean, I'm pretty sure they are throwing parties just because they have so much space for activities. You know, it's definitely really nice to see that expansion out there, and it doesn't end there. I mean, they're expanding other places too, which is kind of what I wanted to touch about in the next section. But I believe we still had a few more questions to touch on.
Got one more for you. This is from Disney Lovers again. Will they start the next Star Factory building with Tent 1 area so they can shift Tent 3 into the production building before expanding the rest? Or will they just expand off of what's there now, you think?
Yeah, I mean, that's the only way that makes sense for them to do this, because the Star Factory currently is not tall enough to put nose cones in, so you have to build a building around the tent. So you build the section 3, and then you remove this, and then build the middle section in between, which is going to be super annoying on their part, I have a feeling. But it's not a huge deal.
Right on. There was a question about how many Raptors they can store. I guess that means in the tents.
No idea.
Yeah, there's a
I
lot.
think
We saw
at
a
least
bunch.
at
Sorry.
least 33, at least 39.
I was gonna say at least 4, but you're probably right with that one too.
And how many RVACs?
I mean, we've only seen 3 on site at a time, really.
Which in theory
It
is
all
all we
depends
really
how
need.
I could be wrong.
well, it depends how efficient you are with storing them.
Yeah.
That is a concerning statement.
Are you saying like we're gonna line bells on top of bells? Is that what you're saying? Stack them one on top of the other?
I like
I
that
sure hope not. So moving on to the north side of the production site, we have some expansion going on down here. You guys can see that this road right here is, you know what? I'm going to get a long distance view, because it's probably good to see this from even further away. I don't know if this one's going to do it or not. Kind of. So if they get rid of this tent right here, and there's an actual receiving area for the Star Factory, I would expect that receiving area to come in from this road and then down through here, straight through. It looks like that's the way to go. But this right here is actually more for expanding the trailer, not the, I don't call it a trailer park. It's not a trailer park. What's I say this every week. I can't remember the right term for it. Airstream park. Okay.
There you
Thank
go.
you. Thanking myself for that. Wow. All right. So they are expanding that Airstream park. As you can see, I don't know if this is a little community restroom, but yeah, it's going to get pretty large, it looks like, which is nice, because, having your employees as close as possible is amazing, because then you don't have them driving super far back and forth to work. When there's an emergency on the pad, you can just wake people up and get 500 people on top of the launch mount within hours, like they have been. So yeah.
Or they don't ever go home because they live so close and they're always working.
True. That would be actually a nightmare, I think. But I
It
feel
would
like
be
I
a
live
nightmare.
here. Yeah. I feel like I live at Starbase sometimes, even though I don't. So
Dude, I feel like you live at Starbase too, and you don't.
yeah. So these aren't the only things that they're adding as far as housing goes. We're not going to show the existing houses too much, but they are adding these ones on the bottom. You can see the 3 down here, and got some cute little tiny homes down here. Oh, sorry, these would be the tiny homes. These are medium homes. So we got little tiny homes right there, and down here at the bottom of the image, you'll notice that they've delivered some more. Well, we got more Airstreams, and then these are actual like housing trailers, I think, or office trailers. They look really nice. We've seen them from the ground. I don't think Mauricio has an image of them though. But
I thought
there's
they
a
were
bunch of
just
them.
more houses, just more tiny houses. They're just all lined up in a row.
Probably, honestly. I mean, they're all about the same. So you got these ones are kind of like these. If not for this house being in the way, I would say they would put them right here. But I mean, there's plenty of lots right over in this area.
Basically, they're just putting houses wherever they can now.
What is this? Oh, these are this is raw materials for this house right here. So yeah, they're gonna, continue to expand the amount of employees they have out here, which is good. It just means that they get more done. With more employees, you need more United Rentals, so this stays busy.
Oh yeah, that's looking jam-packed as ever.
Yeah, seriously, I'm tired of that place. So let's keep moving. Let's keep moving north. We have, what is that? Oh, those are just the
Counterweights.
counterweights. Sorry. This building, I'm still been expecting them to actually pave this, and I'm surprised that they haven't.
I guess it's probably because they don't not really needing the Starling sats anytime soon.
Yeah,
With
true.
what's going on at the moment.
Good point. So they don't got to worry about keeping it clean.
Yeah.
They may have just paved this though, right here, I think. And I was expecting them to pave this part and then attach another side building onto this, but it doesn't seem like that's happening yet. Yeah, this area was getting a lot of love for a while. It was like an emergency operation to get this thing built until they covered up that payload door.
Yeah, that was kind of pointless in hindsight.
Like, oh. Yeah, that was kind of sad actually, but you know, things happen. So with that, I don't think there's too much else happening over here. So I may move us over to the launch site a little bit early, unless there's any objections. Oh,
No
wait, hold on.
objections.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, that's gotten even bigger, that area.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So last week, I think this was just up to here. Now
Yeah.
they've expanded all the way back there. So this is what we're expecting to be an office building, a SpaceX office building. Speaking of office buildings, I want to take a look at the Sanchez site again really quick, because I have an idea.
I like it when
So-
you have an idea.
This little property right here. Let me find it from the ground as well. I was talking to Mauricio about this yesterday, because actually, Mauricio, can you explain this to me? This is not what the sign used to look like, right? So is this a new company that's like for the real estate? Did we lose Mauricio? Okay,
No.
that is fine.
Yeah, he'll be here.
Yeah, I can.
I'm still here.
There he is.
No, they had the previous it was a home for sale by owner, and apparently they got a realtor to list the property here.
So
So-
we got a nice little bot in the chat, which is awesome.
We got amazing mods, don't you worry.
So the problem with this is that they're trying not to sell it to SpaceX, right?
According to Thomas, that's what he mentioned, that they didn't, the owner of that property didn't want to sell to SpaceX, that they were looking for the right buyer. But yeah, I'm not sure what they're gonna do there.
I think
Oh.
I might be the right buyer.
I just
Because
got to say the email address, and that's quite interesting.
let's look at it.
What it starts with.
Spaceport. I feel like I might be the right buyer for this. I don't have the money for it, but you know, I can give back the right side or the left side of the high bay to SpaceX and build CSI headquarters right here. And I'm not going to sell that to SpaceX. So I would actually be the perfect, like, there's zero chance I would sell that to SpaceX. So if they want to give me this so that I can build CSI headquarters right here,
Yeah.
let me know. We could work something out.
Can I make my play for a window office, please?
And so back to the office that we were talking about before, that's just what this is. They're going to build some office space there. Nothing too exciting yet, but we'll see how large that ends up being. It'll definitely be the largest structure inside of the village, it looks like. So that will be exciting to see. And it looks like it has its own, you know, those circular or the roundabout driveways.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what that looks like.
You mean like in UK, how everything's a roundabout?
Well, they have these for like golf clubs and stuff like that, you know, where you enter the
For the golf clubs?
not the golf clubs
The
themselves.
golf
but the
carts?
actual-
I got you.
The club.
Oh, sorry. Sorry, my bad.
It's all good. So let's move over to the launch site. We're starting with the suborbital farm, where we have some action on suborbital B. Nice.
It's looking fine. It's fine.
Fine. So this is crazy. They had to. It looks like they dug even below the middle of it. Like here, maybe there's another angle of this. There's always another angle. Yeah, you can see that how far they've dug down in there. Just completely. You can see him in there right now.
Yeah. I just noticed something missing from that stand. Look
What?
at the top of it. Look at the
Everything.
walkway on the top.
Everything is missing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
up in the top right.
Right here.
Yeah, where did that go?
Was it ever there?
Yeah, it was there.
Wind.
I don't know. I never saw that like laying on the ground anywhere before. Maybe they removed it. But
Maybe
yeah,
it's
this
like
is
a wetland somewhere.
the crazy part about this is. So this was on Thursday, right? So
Wednesday.
let's look at this.
So flyover
Wednesday?
was Wednesday, and ground photos were Friday.
I said Thursday before, and Mauricio never corrected me. So
Yes, I did.
you just weren't listening.
He said he
No,
did.
So what the flyover was on Wednesday, and they were digging that up, right? They were taking off the concrete, and on Friday, when I got there, they were pouring concrete.
Yeah,
on Friday.
you were telling us that at the show and tell
But-
too.
I don't get it. I don't get how they did this so fast. Like, number one, it's regular concrete again. So
It wasn't regular concrete to begin with.
Point.
PK found it
is
was called
regular
no,
concrete.
it was called fondag. That little circle underneath was fondag. It was a fortified
I'm
concrete.
talking about out here. This is the
Oh.
reason why they had to redo it, is because all of this blew away.
Okay.
But now they redid it with the same concrete. And it looked shinier last time. I don't know. Maybe, I mean, hopefully it's a different blend and it won't do the same thing it did last time. But it looks, well, actually kind of has the like dark stain to it like the other one did.
The fondag.
But it looks
Just looks like they mixed dirt with it. though.
kind of rough. Maybe another layer is supposed to get added on top of it. Is that how that works? I don't really understand the.
I was under the impression that the only thing that they tore out was the inner portion of it, not the outside of it, of what you're pointing there.
Really?
Yeah,
Hold on,
if
let's
you
go
look
back.
at the aerial, it's only the interior portion.
Oh, the ramp is still there.
Yeah.
So they took out the part that was supposed to be able to withstand it. Huh.
Pretty much. Yeah.
That static fire did wonders.
Jesus.
I
I don't even know what to think about that. That just changed everything. Well, not everything, but you know what I mean. Still very interesting. That's a pretty significant amount of damage. I really expected it to be out here that they were removing that stuff. On the left side of that pad, we haven't really seen any work over here. It doesn't really seem like they're adding any more in here yet. But they definitely have been on the orbital side, which we'll get to a little bit later. But
Do we actually know what they might be adding on to the left of the suborbital tank farm? Do you actually know what that might be for?
this,
Yeah.
no. I mean,
Didn't they say that was for the storage of cranes?
well, the crane storage is supposed to be right here.
Yeah.
So matter of fact, I think it actually goes from the. Okay. We can't really see the bottom corner, but the bottom corner of this, and I think it's supposed to stretch over like that. I mean, because you got to lay this huge crane down right there, so it's very large. It's right here, I think, is where it's supposed to be. So they haven't even cleared out that area, and that's because this is part of the low-lying, the wetlands area, so they haven't touched that part yet. So no idea what their current plan is for this. And it's
So
already
there's
starting to grow back. Man, that
Yeah,
fire
so
did
there's
nothing.
gonna be like some sort of structure on that square on the end of it. From what I can see, it's
Where?
oh, that bit of dirt we were just talking about. The way it's like, yeah, it's like a square in the end. It's like there's gonna be some kind of structure there.
Right here.
No.
The built-up part.
Yeah.
Oh, this.
Be
Yeah.
cool if the can crusher went there.
Could put a little guard shack so that they're able to monitor this side of the building, but I'm pretty sure they have a guard shack right here. Yeah, no idea. But
Yeah, another mystery.
Yeah, and earlier in the episode when we were talking about Massie's, this is where I was thinking most of that concrete came from. But it's probably not as much as I was thinking it was, but it still is a lot in the middle over there. So they clearly broke it out and got rid of it quickly. And they still have a mix of other gravels in here, but that is because all of those are going over here, which you can see. This looks crazy. So this is how much gravel they're about to pour down here. This will be the top of it. Just
So
like
that whole thing is going to get filled, that whole space? Or is it,
yeah,
are they,
just like this. Just like this.
but they haven't poured any concrete there.
They're not going to. They don't have to yet. It's just they're just building it up. Let me get a better view. I'll sneak us over to this view. One where we can see the whole thing. I don't think that's a good one. Almost. I don't think that one's going to work either. I'm struggling. Give me one moment here. You know what? What am I doing? I got to look at the long distance one. Sorry, everybody. Let's switch over to our long distance views. This one might be good enough to show it, but I kind of want to be on the back side of it. So that might be the best we got. Let's try that. Not really, but it works. You can see the whole thing. So very odd shape. I'm not satisfied with that. Man, that's even worse. So it's really odd shape though. And so you can see that this is part of the wildlife management or the nature preserve management. So while they're doing construction, they're not supposed to have construction material enter the wetlands. And so in order to prevent that from happening, they build these walls so that as they're bringing in massive amounts of dirt, it doesn't go over the edge into the wetlands. So this is one of those PEA recommended actions. Involves the way that they do it. So initially, had not for those rules, maybe they would have just came in here and started like bulldozing the whole thing and without putting any of this up and just build it up and let it run over to the side. But yeah, right now that is not their current way of doing things, which is nice, being responsible in that way. So yeah, they're going to be building up this pad, and it'll be a super weird addition to the launch site. Let's see it from even further away. Like, look at that shape. I like it.
Looks like a crown, almost.
Well, the cool thing about this is if they pave it, now they have a way to get around to the backside of the launch mount without coming all the way around here. Theoretically, they could stack. Well, no, with this drain right here, they probably can't do that. But what I was going to say is theoretically, they could stack from this side of the launch mount or the tower. Like you put your Starship here and you put your booster there.
So mean one side for catching, one side for liftoff?
Not quite. So let me go to this view of it. Like you would lift your Starship up from this side and lift your booster up from this side.
I got you. Okay.
But I don't know if that's possible. I don't think it swings over that far.
Yeah, it's definitely too tight in space. So
that's weird because I thought the tower was centered on. Oh, it's not really centered on there, huh? The whole orientation of this tower is really weird. I guess it really can only happen on one side. So scrap what I was saying. But either way, like I said, they have this drain here, so that wouldn't have mattered anyways. But if they do pave this, it gives them the ability to drive all the way around to the other side instead of having to come through here. So especially when you're entering the bottom of the tower, like the bottom of the tower entering there is the worst, because there's this little tiny walkway to get in through the upper beams, and that's all they have. So yeah, they're building this up quite a bit. Let's move over to the tank farm, where there's a ton of fun happening. Unless there's suborbital tank farm questions.
There was only
look at
one.
that. What the heck?
Ooh.
This is the best view right here, and I.
You
Anyway,
found it
sorry,
now.
go ahead.
No. Did you want to give it its?
No,
Okay.
it's over.
So Scat 1975 was asking, do we think they are extending the test stand upwards when we were looking at the suborbital?
I mean, that'd be nice, but probably not.
Fair enough.
I mean, with the way that they took this off, like maybe they could be preparing to add something up there, but I doubt that. That'd be a pretty big undertaking to increase the size of this, and we'd probably see the clamps come off as well too, if they were going to do something like that. But yeah, I don't really think that's going to happen. I think the more likely thing is that we probably just won't see 6-engine static fires.
Ever?
At least until they fix that.
Good point.
I mean, who am I talking about? This is SpaceX. They'll just do it, honestly. So
I just think they can do them, but just not 8 seconds long, and maybe take the thrust down a little bit. Just, it doesn't have to be what they did with Ship 24.
Or
that
Booster
was pretty
7?
aggressive. Booster 7's about to step up to the next level. So I think that was about the max level that you can take 24 up to on that test stand, probably. Like whatever they did, that's the most they can do, probably. But yeah, speaking of clusters, we have more trouble at the tank farm, and we don't. Well, I'll back that up. We don't know if it is trouble, but it sure seems like it. We have been playing musical pumps for close to a year now, I would say. We've lost track of how many pumps have came in and out of here, but it's a lot. So this pump was removed after the flyover, both the motor and the pump. I think they put, like I said, I lost track. I'm pretty sure they swapped one out and put one in this week. They delivered one. They delivered one right here. It's not here anymore, obviously. They looked at it for like 2 hours, and then they wrapped it back up and sent it away. Like, we don't like it. So no idea what's going on with that. We have still 2 motors sitting down here. There are currently 3 down here today. Matter of fact, we can look at the ground.
There seems to
Ground
perpetually always be at least one in front of the tank farm.
Yeah.
At all times.
And right now there's only one functioning one. So I don't know. I hope that they get this situation resolved soon so that it doesn't get in the way of booster and ship testing on the launch mount and launch towers. So but right now it seems like they're definitely having a lot of trouble with it.
Do you have any idea why? Do you think it's cavitation?
Yeah, I've been looking into it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
I'll just say that for now. Yep. I've been looking into it because it's bothering me, like what's going on with it. So I can't help but to try and figure out what the reason is. But more on that later. So for now, though, you can see what these pumps look like on the ground. And they're not Chinese made. So that's not the issue. Yeah, it's really weird to see these get swapped out as often as they have. no idea what's going on there. But back to that aerial view. Actually, while we're down here, Mauricio got a good view in between the water tanks. I think he looked up a little bit more. That's the other tanks. Oh yeah. So it looks like the scaffolding came down a little bit from where it was, and you can see that they've like painted over the welds. So I'm guessing they did something to the welds, although I can't really tell. Whoa. Is that bubbling out?
Oh boy,
Looks like
Oh
it,
man.
yeah.
that can't be good.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, that's like a hernia.
That is like a hernia. That's a good analogy.
I don't see any more up there, but yeah. So no idea what's going on with the water tank anymore. They're still trying to fix it or something. But all efforts so far are going unnoticed as far as we can tell, because all we see is scaffolding. So
I wonder if they've tried fixing it with a demolition ball yet.
yeah, right. Like that would be a fun way to get it out.
What
You know,
do we-
the
that'll do
thing,
the job.
the problem with demoing this is that, as far as I know, they're not able to do this because the crane that they would use to lift it out won't be able to get it out over these tanks, over this tank in particular. So if this tank wasn't here, they would maybe be able to get it out over, but I don't think that they're able to do that with the current crane that they have. Could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's the case. And obviously that would be kind of embarrassing if they ended up having to do that. So I just don't think that they're going to ever demolish this. They'd probably do everything they can to save it, or just abandon it completely, but leave it there. So
Tank farm
weird
filler,
situation with that one.
basically.
What was that?
So it's a tank farm filler to make it look full still.
Yeah, exactly. You don't want like a random empty space there. So yeah, tough situation on that one. I kind of feel bad, but I mean, what are you going to do? So continuing on, the lock side, they have one new pump that they've brought in for the lock side. I thought there was two of them actually. Maybe they brought one in and took it away.
So Vixie actually updated the chat. She said CSI Starbase 1 arrived this morning along with a forklift to offload it, but then it just left again, not unwrapped or even touched.
Interesting.
Talking about the pumps, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, I just found this full launch site pano.
Did you find it?
Yeah. I meant to show this earlier, but we have a really good pano of the launch site, which you can actually see all the same details with. Yeah, you can see that LOX pump right here, and this one will probably go in this spot down here. But yeah, I like I said, I thought there was another one, but I guess it's gone. The where are those trailers that they brought in? That was something I knew people wanted to mention.
They came in after this flyover.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
They came
So we
last
don't know
night,
where they are.
didn't they?
So you should see them in ground
Or the
photos, maybe.
7th.
Let's see. Are they at the launch site?
Yeah, they're all down by the LOX side of the tank farm. Down that end. Or they may be closer to the comms bunker.
Oh, they're back there.
Yeah, there's one of them, I think.
Okay, so a few theories on this, I guess. Let's look at it again from the aerial view. Oops, wrong one. Okay. I guess we got a black screen.
We like it a lot.
All right, I give up on that
There
image.
it is.
Yeah, I was going to switch back to the panorama, but we are not going to do that. So yeah, it appears that the trailers are back in here.
Yeah, in that little sort of area, but there.
So I don't know what they're doing with those, but they appear to be 2,500 horsepower generators, I believe, MTUs, and the current theory from Philokid is that they may be, was it Philokid or Dave? But they may be preparing to switch over to the utility system from Brownsville, the new power system that they ran up there. And in order to do that, they may have to cut power everywhere else. So if they want to continue to run this building in particular, I'm sure they probably have a bunch of servers and stuff in there. They may have to bring in those generators in order to run this facility while they do that. They already have one down here, but if they bring in 2 more, then they clearly are using some temp power for something. So we'll keep an eye on that.
Zach,
Go ahead.
Peanut's asking, what trailers? What are the trailers for?
The trailers are, it's really hard to see in this image. It's in the background. It's this blue trailer right here. The only reason I know it's there is because we watched it show up. I don't know if I have a better image of it or not. Don't see it yet. I guess it would be to the right in this image, but it's not visible. Honestly, I'm not even sure if they were here when he did this. Or, sorry, it was here because we saw in that other image. I don't know where it's at. It must be behind this wall and we're not able to see it. No idea. But what we do know is that it's basically the same thing as this. So it's the same thing as this trailer, just blue, and it's back there. And I think there's 2 of them. It says HVAC and or generator and power supply and HVAC or something like that. So probably supplying both power and HVAC to this building right here temporarily. So yeah, interesting. Like I said, the only thing we can think of is that they must be transferring power over from the city of Brownsville. So that could take a little while to actually make that swap happen. The very last thing in the tank farm would be this wall right here, which they poured the concrete in. They extended this wall that connects to the berm now. So now you have a nice little walkway to get to these valves back here. I think that's the only way to get back there. I don't know if you can walk in this way as well too. But yeah, so this is basically just blast protection since they're not actually building a berm here. But
they've added some more forms since this flyover as well, I think, on that little corner there between the berm and the wall. Yeah, there's more on the outside as well now, on the other side of the wall. But you should be able to see them in the ground photos.
In the ground photos?
Yeah, I think they added them after this flyover.
We got to get way over, huh?
Yeah.
How do you see it with this big, huge booster in the way?
Not quite.
The lovely Vix has come to your rescue.
This is the second time I've looked for something and haven't found it. Sorry, folks. I do not see it.
Agent Vix is on the move.
Okay, and we have a picture of the trailer, thanks to Vix.
Thank you, Vix.
Yes, Vix is
Agent V.
She's our VR cam expert. So this is what it looks like, power and HVAC. So like I said, I believe they delivered 2 of these. But yeah, I'm gonna have to give up on trying to find that wall on the ground unless it happens to pop up in another image. But while we're on these ground images, actually, before we get to the actual launch mount, I want to make sure we touch on any questions that we may have, because we're going to go on a little scavenger hunt.
Woo! I got questions for you. We answered the trailers for Peanut. The question is from Tech Controls. He's asking she is asking if it's cavitation, wouldn't they just be replacing the actual pump impellers rather than the motor? If they keep replacing motors, the problem must be something else, possibly in addition to cavitation. And I know there was a whole conversation in chat where there was a whole conversation about it.
Yeah, they haven't replaced the motors as often as they've replaced the actual pumps. they replace pumps far more often than the motors. We have seen a few motors come in and out, but nowhere near as often as the actual pumps themselves. But yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I have a few theories on that. It's tough to get deep into it because it's that one actually requires some math in order to talk about properly. So
No math for you.
one of these days, it'll come soon. Don't worry.
So Credence asked a question. Do we know why these pumps extend underground so far?
Well, it's just the type of pump that they are. So number one, the goal is sorry, I'm trying to get us back over there. So yeah, I mean these go super deep underground. They probably like somewhere between the LOX ones are like I want to say 15 to 20 feet deep, and then the methane ones are like 10 to 15 feet deep. So they're very deep holes. I mean, you can just see when you look at the pump itself here, it's a little bit deeper than the actual pump itself. And so when it flows in, it goes down into the outside of the hole, and then it sucks up through the bottom of the pump and then goes out the left side of it. So it comes in and then it goes down, and then it's basically a sump pump. That's what it is, essentially. So they're huge sump pumps, and the reason the reason to go down is because that's where you'll have lower pressure down there or higher pressure down there. So increases your head pressure. This is a huge math lesson. I don't even think we can answer this right now.
I think we're good.
You need like all kinds of graphics and stuff like that. I'm not for today. I just bailed on that. Sorry, guys.
No sweat. Do you want more questions? Do you want to keep carrying on?
Yeah, we can touch on one really quick.
Okay.
I need to step away for half a second, but
sure. And then I have some
maybe
donations.
Max, you can answer this one.
I'm sure Jaxie and Max can. Hopefully they're both here.
Yeah.
Fantastic. All right. Do we know? Oh, we just asked that. What is the purpose of the pumps? Do you know? Flynn Ryan is asking.
Which pumps exactly?
The ones in front of the OTF. The tank farm. The ones that they keep pulling out and putting back in?
Oh, those will be they're the main pumps for pumping all the cryo liquids to the heat exchangers and to all the other various pipe looking over to the OLM or the tower.
Yep. So they go through that first before they hit the hippos, right?
Yeah, the stop coolers, yeah. And that'll keep pushing along. Whether it's on that side we're looking at methane, or I guess it could be nitrogen if they're doing a cryo. But that's going to be pushing it along towards the tower and OLM, or cryo stations, I guess. Yeah. Do we have any other questions?
Yes, sir. Patrick J asks, would a thick steel sheet below and around the test stand and OLM solve all the problems?
I have thought about that myself in the past. I have thought maybe that's one way of resolving it, but you would have thought if that was a possibility that SpaceX would have gone with it, but they haven't.
And yeah, they're seemingly still sticking with the tried and true. Well, no, not really tried and true. It's pretty terrible, but the concrete. Yeah. Do we have any other questions? I see Zach's back, it seems.
I am back.
I just have one more quick one. How long does it take currently to build a booster in a ship?
Ooh.
Allegedly 2 months.
Allegedly.
Yeah,
Happy
it varies.
Happy year at least right now. It's
what did you say? Half a year?
Yeah, probably about half a year.
Because of how long it's taken for Booster 7 to launch?
No, just from when parts start showing up to when the vehicle's done, it's usually about half a year.
It probably could be a lot quicker, but I think focus keeps shifting from project to project.
Yeah, and that it's hard because sometimes they stop working on a booster, or like Booster 8.
Yeah.
It probably got held up by 2 months when they were working on Booster 7. They just stopped working on 8.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely not as quick as I know Elon wants it to be.
Yeah, it does. To me, it feels like it's super fast, but I don't know. I guess, I mean, you would definitely know more on that one than I would. Speaking of boosters. Oh, wait, sorry. Did we have more questions? I don't want
Nope,
to
that
jump
was
on.
it. I just have a couple of donations real fast. They
Yeah,
started
let's
a
do it.
donation train. Actually, I have one more question, but I'll do the donation train first. First, I want to call out Jim Cavett, who's kind enough to donate another gift of RGV membership, and it went to our own Max Q. So lucky Max Q. 55 Chevy guy started the train and says, please join me in a donation train for flight cost support and, of course, Sunny Biscuits. And he donated $10, and Rocket Profit also matched that and said, what are the pipes coming out of the concrete on the berm? So he had a question with his.
Wow.
I can check.
C's
Take that
booster
one.
asks about concrete. So these pipes right here on the side, they go behind the concrete and they're actually deep into the wall. So they're on each level, and they basically make it so that if water goes into the seeps into here, that it comes out through here, which is weird because you would. I think it may possibly even be worried about water coming up from the ground somehow. But I mean, if you just covered all this up, I don't get where the water would be coming from. So yeah, I feel like just adding some concrete edges onto here would eliminate that need. But I don't know. I'm not a civil engineer. Were you gonna add something onto that, Max Q?
I was pretty much going to say the exact same thing that you were saying. I think you covered it pretty well there.
Kind of weird, but yeah. Sorry, did we have one more as well? I'm really itching to talk about this booster.
Please do, because the other question was a repeat of what Rocket Profit asked.
Cool. So, booster 7.
Oh God, sorry to interrupt. Have you seen chat?
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
trying not to.
Okay.
So yeah, we're expecting booster 7 to come out with some upgrades on it, but have you guys been able to find any yet? I haven't found a single one.
It was one that Jack spotted last night.
Yeah.
What is it?
If you go up to the forward dome of the booster, and it's like it's only I checked all around. It's the only thing I could find.
Back to the left, you were pretty much on it just now.
Has the grid fins in the shot.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
You just had it. That's kind of strange.
Forward dome.
Yeah, there it is.
Right there.
So, and it's only on this vent, but that methane release vent, they tightened up the hole. They welded a plate on it. It's a smeller exit now.
Oh man, that's gonna be super loud.
It's only on this one.
Oh my god, that's gonna be so loud.
Nice whistle to it.
But yeah, that is. It took them 3 weeks to do that. So
this is the this is like when you're trying to whistle, you know, what your lips do, kind of. Yeah, that's gonna be super loud when they do that. I can't wait to hear that one tested. Wait, VFV, variable frequency valve number 2.
Maybe.
But yeah, I expected that when 7 rolled out, we'd see a lot more than we did. I mean, it looks pretty much the same.
Yeah.
I mean, I was expecting to possibly see more external stringers around the forward dome, mirroring what they did with B7.1.
Anybody need a blanket?
Yeah. That's robust, all right.
Yeah, so just to touch on these a little bit, obviously this is not the final product. So they have tape around the edges. This is like a almost like a thermal blanket, like a fire blanket, like something you would wear if you're a firefighter and you got trapped in a fire. You lay down and cover yourself in this until it passes. Similar thing, I think. But then there's duct tape all around the edges, and this one they're like, all right, well, let's just move it. I don't really care about fitting it and making it look nice, and we're just gonna rip it off as soon as it gets on the launch mount.
Well, I think one of the things many people didn't realize is even when Booster 7 was out last time, the engines on the outer ring that they static fired, they put this same blanket on them while it was on the OLM, I believe. So it's kind of interesting. I mean, this isn't anything new. If anything, this just means they're going to be firing a lot more than 7 engines.
I hate to do this to you guys, but I just decided that we're not going to do the scavenger hunt on the launch mount unless we get up to 600 likes on the stream. We're at 525. I don't think it'll take that long, but I just want to throw that out there so we can get it done before the show ends. We only have 35 minutes left, so hopefully we get there in time. Sorry to interrupt you, Jax. What were we saying?
No, yeah, not much. It's just it's interesting to see that they have all 20 of those wrapped in. Really, it looks like, if anything, they took more stuff off of the booster. Like, if you look at the chines, there are panels missing and tape missing, and I don't know. What did they do to it?
Yeah, this was taped up, right?
Yeah.
Where's that other image? I think I had a full shot
Yeah,
right
Yeah, I reckon there's most of it's probably internal or underneath the shielding where we can't really see.
Well,
Has it always been there?
yeah.
Yeah.
I was looking at some flyover photos of when they were working on Booster 7, and I realized they took off parts of the chine, so you could actually see some of the COPVs on the booster, or
Yeah.
at least one. So they were definitely working on the internals under the chines. I'm not sure what that was about though.
So one thing that we touched on earlier was the fact that they haven't been adding these stabilizer pins onto the new booster or the new booster transport stands. And the reason that we're assuming so far is because Booster 9 and after doesn't have the HPU right here, which is what controls the thrust vector control for the center 13 engines. And so without that, they don't have the massive thing sticking out off the side of the booster in order to grab onto. So we're not sure if they are extending these stabilizer pins so that they go all the way in and touch the booster, or if they're just finding a different solution altogether. We've seen them working on the new one on the launch mount, or the existing one on the launch mount, but haven't really been able to notice any changes with that so far. Any theories on that?
That's an interesting thing I just thought of, is where they're going to put the Starlink dishes on B9.
That
good
is a
point.
question. Yeah.
Maybe part of that scaffolding that they're doing in there right now is like, I don't even know. I don't know where to begin on this one. It's that point that you just brought up. I can't even really think of where they would go. And I think Mr. Pleasant in the background is saying they could go on top of the chines.
Yeah. I mean,
Let's
that's
see.
still upwards facing. I mean, that's the only place I can really think of.
They,
Right here.
Yeah, they'd have to be either smaller if they wanted to keep the circle, or very custom to fit the triangular shape.
Yeah, the problem is that these are pointed at an angle on purpose.
Yeah.
And so basically with these combined with the ones on the other side, I can't remember what the shape of it actually looks like if you trace it out, but it has really good coverage with the way that they're placed. I don't know if putting them on top of these chines is going to be enough to accomplish the same thing. I mean, maybe if they could fit them one here and one there, then you have all 4 sides covered. But yeah, I mean, that's going to be, I don't think it can fit on this one.
Yeah, if they're gonna do the top of the chines, it'd definitely be pretty custom, I think.
That's going to be interesting to see.
Yeah.
I'm waiting on 2 more likes, and then we can go and touch on the launch mount. But in the meantime, just looking at it from the aerial view. Oh, by the way, I actually have a question, since I rarely get to ask them. Have they lifted Booster 7 while we've been on the stream?
I
hope
don't think
not.
so, no.
Thank God. All right. Usually we miss all the fun stuff that happens on Saturday, so I'm glad that we're finally going to be able to. I'm going to be able to see that one because last time something happened on a Saturday, I missed it. Well, apparently we just hit 600 likes, so let's go ahead and do the scavenger hunt on launch mount. So, I guess I'll start off with just a general statement because a lot of people don't understand why I leave stuff out certain times when we talk about them on the stream. And the reason is because usually I'm working on an episode or something, and I don't want to ruin it for you guys. I'd rather you hear it in the episode instead of on the stream. But I realized I can always just change the way I present it. So I'm going to try to hide things less, and I'll actually show you guys what's been going on. Because most of it, even though I show it to you guys, you won't even really truly be able to understand it. Other than this, and sorry, I'll walk that part back. The reason I say that is because it's inside. Most of what's happening is inside the launch mount. So without a 3D model, it's sometimes not worth talking about because you can't even really truly see what's happening. But at least right here, we can see that new shielding has been added around the booster QD. So all of everything you're seeing around here is brand new. There will be another plate on the bottom right here. And
Yeah.
what?
We don't see your cursor. We're still looking at the aerial.
Oops.
photo.
Oh my gosh. I thought we were on the ground. Why didn't you tell me that earlier? All right, here we go. Restarting from the beginning. Just kidding. So this is all of the, this is the booster QD. This shielding right here, going all the way around it, has been added. There's also more shielding down here, which protects explosions from entering up through the bottom. Given what they've done so far and that there's a hole right here, there will probably be more added up here. This is going to be a super custom piece though, because it has to rotate back in with the QD when it closes. But they will fully enclose all of this so that explosions will not enter here, sever these lines, and cause a secondary explosion. So that is...
It's nice to see they're ready for another possible explosion there. If you scroll down,
they are definitely ready for an explosion.
Look, they got the little fire extinguisher.
Yeah, and that's in a good way. That's in a good way. So beyond that, oh wow, yeah, I actually didn't even notice them. I mean, you got to keep those around. So beyond that, they've been adding shielding on the inside of the table. So I've kind of expected this to happen ever since Elon's tweet, but in response to a message that I posted a question to him and he responded to it. And ever since then, I've kind of been looking for signs of what he was talking about. And when you're looking at the table from this side, you really can't even see it because there's so much stuff in the doorways. The only doorway you're able to see into is this one. And when you look in there, I mean, you can't see anything. And the reason is because they covered everything up. So usually, no matter what time of day it is, you can see into this table. But right now, because they've added so much paneling on the inside of it, it's literally dark in there. I'm surprised the lights aren't on because, oh well, you still have light coming in from the backside. But yeah, so you can't see anything in that side anymore. Even when when they put the booster on the actual launch mount, you won't be able to see the clamps fold up. Well, you will, because you'll see the hoses come in. But usually you can actually see the change in the lighting. But now you won't be able to do that. I don't think a lot of people were looking for that anyways. I was. So I guess I'm the one who's mainly disappointed in that. But let's see if we can find one of these doorways that shows us what we want to see. Okay, that's getting close. Well, one thing that you can see is that, and this is what I do every week. And you can understand why it's taken so long to figure this out. But this is the actual QD right here. So you can see the hoses coming down from the ceiling, and then they curve up and go to the nozzle up there. And all that's left visible is this little tiny slit of light, which will also be covered up. But there's shielding right here. There's shielding on the left side. It's really, really difficult to see. Let's try one more angle. Yeah, you can almost tell that it's it looks like the gunner on like a Humvee or something like that. Like the shield on the front of it, and then the gun would be coming through. The 50 cal would be coming through right in the middle. But that's what it looks like, 2 side shields. And then they will probably put another one on the top. And again, like I said, don't be sad if you can't really understand what's going on there, because it's hard for me as well. We will be modeling that here soon. But there's even more angles where you can see this. Is this the same one? This is a little bit clearer. But there's one bracket right here. There's a bracket above to join the 2 of them. And then there's another plate on the left side, which is super difficult to see. I'm going to find the image I'm looking for.
That sort of looks similar to what they've added around the booster QD. The shape of it.
Yes, in a way, yeah. There we go. You can see this one a little bit more because he's a little bit to the left now. So that the trick with getting these images is that like you can't just take one picture and walk away. If you want to take a picture of this object in here, you have to take a picture like 6 feet to the right, and every like 2 feet as you're walking by it, take more pictures, because this is a very tiny hole that you're shooting through. So it makes it really difficult, which is also why it's taken us so long to figure it out. But yeah, you can see oops, oh, that was cool. You can see that sidewall right here. Again, and the crazy part about this is this has to fold back with the clamp. Let me see if I can find just this one last angle of it. There's a really good one, but can't tell you guys how many hours I've spent trying to find the perfect angle of this. I don't know if I'm going to have the one that shows the clamps right now. So the clamps are a little bit more difficult to see, especially because they have now sealed in the QDs. So the clamps were visible up until the QDs got closed in. So now it's really hard to see them. You can almost see it from this side, just barely. This is the top of one of them right here. But the crazy part about this thing is these plates that they're adding are gigantic. Like they're not like small sheets of steel. Let's see if I can find one right here. I gotta get one from when you were close to, I think this is it. That's not the one I want. Sorry, everybody. Scavenger hunts don't always go quickly. Right here.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. This is one of the plates that they're using. I think I know where this one goes. I'm not going to say for sure right now, but you can see it's roughly 2 inches thick, I want to say. Super thick plate. This is some of the thickest steel on the table, other than the actual table itself. Like this is the thickest supporting structure that they have. They really do not want explosions entering the side of that table. So the crazy part about that is all of this stuff, the reason this is so difficult is because everything that you're seeing in here, all of this that's attached to it has to move back with the QD when it closes. You can even see some side shielding in here. This is literally the imagery that we have to work with in order to figure out exactly what this looks like. This is a slot for the actual plate that the QDs are attached to slide down into. And I can't wait to show you guys this in the render, but it's insane. And when you see how large that steel piece was, it really gives you an idea of exactly how much work these pistons are going to have to do in order to retract the clamps. And so with that being said, if you guys haven't seen this already, I want to show some video from Lab Padre. I captured this earlier. Sorry, somebody sent this to me earlier in the week, and a few of our CSI agents actually captured this as well too. I think it was possibly Chrome Kiwi, I want to say. But let me show you guys the video. So this is the OLM clamps retracting at full speed. This is one of the very few times that I don't speed something up before posting it. So keep that in mind, because almost everything you see me post is sped up. Hopefully you guys can hear this. Can you guys hear this?
Yeah, I can hear it.
All right, it's going to be a little loud, so I apologize. Not really. It's like how my last time my mom slammed the door in my face sounded like that. So not only can you hear how loud it is, but you can see in this doorway on the left, you can see all of the flex hoses slide back. You can see on this door on the right side, you can see one of the QDs fold back. I'm gonna, hopefully you guys can see that QD arm.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and looking on the left side as well too, you can see the entire hose assembly slamming back, and this is very violent. I mean, you can hear it. I have one more cool view as well too, so let me show that to you guys. And this one was done by Jeff. He actually cleaned the audio up a little bit for us, but he changed the coloring so that we could see the actual clamp move better. But the other cool thing is these hydraulic hoses on the outside of the table. Oh my gosh, it's like when the doctor's like, clear! And they shock you out. Yeah, the way those jump is crazy. But
so they're closing at different rates. Is it like, to me?
No, they're not. They're not closing at different rates. It's 4 different actions. So you can hear it. So there's 4 different things that you're hearing. First is the QD pulling back. Sorry, so you can't even see it, but the QD pulls back first because there's a piston on the QD that actually pushes it up towards the booster, or the Raptor QD, the panel on the Raptor. And then, so that pulls back first, and that's the first sound you hear. And then after that, the actual arms start to fold in. And, I think the clamps themselves snap upwards. So the clamps snap up, then the arms fold into the table, and then you have the hood of the QD slamming shut. So all of those actions create their own sound.
You didn't even show the render you showed last week so that people watching can get an idea of what you're talking about?
Let me pull that up. There we go. I'm sitting here trying to describe it to you guys when I got a whole render. Thanks to Ryan Hansen Space for putting this together. But you can see, and the one thing that's not happening here, and Ryan knows this, is that these are not sticking out as far as they would. So when there's an actual booster sitting here, these would extend out and connect with it. And so the first thing that happens, there's 2 things that aren't being shown here. First, the QD pulls in to this position, and then the actual clamps themselves would snap upwards. Then the arm drops into the table, which is a very loud action. And both the arms smacking the back of this and the actual hood itself.
Hey, Zach, we can't see your mouse.
Oh. I think it's because I'm the way I'm showing this. Hold on. Oh, because I'm trying to keep the sound down here, so which is not needed right now. Let me do this instead. So, yeah, when your clamp snaps back, that's going to make a sound, and then when this drops down, and specifically when it hits the bottom of its arc, because this whole thing is like being held up by the piston that's pushing the arm out. So as soon as the piston retracts, then this whole thing drops down, which probably it creates a pretty loud thump. And then after that, you have the actual So yeah, this right here probably creates a thump is what I'm saying, because that's a lot of force. And then the slamming of the actual door itself also is making a sound. So this was already complicated before they added the shielding on, but then they went and added several thousand pounds of of steel onto this table, and all of it is connected to hydraulic pistons. Honestly, I would not be surprised if they had to upgrade some of these pistons in order to pull this off, because they added a massive amount of weight onto this table. And again, the other thing to note is that all of this stuff has to move with the clamp and QD into the table, and when it gets into the table, it has to enter the table without cutting or like severing. You can see right here that the here, I'm going to back up a little bit. There's a triangular shape right here because it has to be that way, because when this is fully retracted into the table, there's a bracket in there that it would hit if this was a solid plate all the way down. So it's shaped like this in order to not hit that. There is a solution for this, which we don't have shown here right now. But again, all of this has to move into the table without colliding with anything.
Just wanted to point out as well, Ryan himself is actually with us in the chat.
Well done, Max Q. I was going to do the same thing.
Oh yeah, shout out to Ryan. He's I didn't see him. I didn't check out the chat today, but yeah, this is really amazing. I love that he did this for us, and I've been working with him pretty closely on this. We're getting close. We're not done yet. We're still trying to figure it out. There are parts of it that only Ryan can do, because without me having this model in front of me at all times, it's hard to like visualize something. So a lot of times I'll just show him what I think is happening so he can actually model it, and then we kind of figure it out, work it out. Yeah, but these are amazing. Just the fact that we're able to visualize this stuff, which is pretty much not visible, even from the aerial views. We can't really see it. Matter of fact, let's try. Have you guys been wondering why the chopsticks are in the position that they're in?
I've been wondering, Zach, why are the chopsticks in the position they're in?
I can tell you why. Or at least I'll give you my opinion on why they're currently in that spot. Hold on, let me get to that aerial view. Because with the chopsticks in their current position, not only does it provide shade for the workers, but it also provides shade for us so that we can't see a single detail while they're working on this.
Tricky little guys.
I was so excited for this flyover. Mauricio did everything he could to try and get the angles that we need. Okay, I'm not going to hide this part. I'll tell you. There is another shield on top of the clamp, which you can see here. So this stops explosions from penetrating through the table this way, from the top down, through the clamps. So they're protected from the sides, from explosions entering the sides. They're also protected from above. Right now, they're currently still exposed from coming in through the hoods, but that is going to end soon. But the crazy part about all of this is that's what the hoods are for, is to protect them. But they had to build a shield to protect it while the hood is up. Yeah, a shield to protect the shield.
It's like Inception.
Yeah, it's insane. And it's honestly, a lot of people ask. My mom's given up asking me, like, why do you spend so much time watching this? I'm like, I don't know. It's just entertaining. The amount of stuff that goes on out here is unreal, and it's right in front of our face most of the times, and it's often goes missed. But yeah, they're doing tons of work, and also, just in case you guys are wondering whether or not it's finished, it is not. So why is Booster 7 not on the launch mount right now? Because they're still adding all this stuff in there. I think that's all of it. This pile was much bigger last week, but unless these are parts that can be done while the booster is on the launch mount, which I'm unsure of. I think these are actually interior pieces possibly, so they may actually be able to work on it while it's on the launch mount, but they won't static fire it without all this stuff on. And I said that last time, but I mean it this time. I don't think, I seriously don't think they will do a static fire on this launch mount until all of this shielding is in place. At least no more than 7 engines, because that was ridiculous last time. If you watch any of the footage, especially Cosmic Perspective, you will understand that every piece of shielding that they put on this thing is necessary, and to some degree, they probably still don't have enough. So at least the inside is protected. That's what matters the most, is that the interior side is protected, because that's the main direction that explosions are going to come in from, because your methane is going to leak from the bottom of the skirt and come up in between. But yeah, I mean, there's not a lot of room for gases actually to come up from the bottom of the table and pass through anymore. Like with the amount of shielding they've added on, with the hood there already, that's why when you see booster testing, you don't see venting coming up from in between the booster and the table, is mainly because of this hood, because it's keeping a lot of that down. But also there's a shield on the bottom of the QD. The clamp itself is super wide, but now with all of this extra shielding on there, it's almost like, not quite, but I mean, you could drop something through there and almost not expect it to pass through and hit the ground. Like it would stop, it would land on here somewhere, you know, like it's very tightly sealed as far as being able to like peer down through it. It's amazing. I love this launch mount. I'm excited to see the next one, which, by the way, if I had to guess, will probably roll out within the next 2 weeks, but I don't really like doing time estimates, but I'll try one.
It's always
I think it's about time. I think it's about time. I was told end of September, but I never believed that, because they were still working on this one. And the question is, how much of this stuff are they going to do on the second launch mount before they move it out? So, I mean, are you going to go and add all the shielding in before you lift it up into place? Who knows? If so, that is everything they do here is causing delays on the other one. But it's not like they can't do work at the pad. So like doing stuff like that is not 100% necessary to do ahead of time. But I think it's more of the mechanical systems that they're trying to finish, which also, in my opinion, is not complete on this table. Because if you go and look at it from this view, hold on. Where is it? You'll see that they're still adding more. This electrical box was added in last week. Now they're running new lines for something. This is one of the biggest electrical boxes on the entire table, and it just appeared, and they're just running the cables through it right now. So no idea what that is. There's a massive I believe this is a pneumatic feed pipe for some large valve, which is going to show up here at some point. This is the, if you guys watched my last video, this is the lockout. I forget what the actual name for this is, but basically a manual lockout for safety. So when you push this in, it stops, basically diverts all the pressure that's traveling in between it out the bottom. So it safes the entire system from both sides. It drains all the pressure. But yeah, seeing one of those show up means that we're not done with this launch mount. So there's a lot of work to do. Whatever it is going up and over and down, and down, and then I don't know if it goes up to the QD or if it goes past to the other side, but either, what? Okay, this is brand new as well. Jesus Christ.
They just keep adding.
Oh man, I bet they seriously regret that hood being on right now.
Oh yeah.
That would suck working in there. But yeah, I mean, they're doing, they added a camera system onto the inside of the launch mount. That's probably one of the electrical things that they're adding, which this one now seems to be active. And this is, looks more like a 4-gas monitor than a camera, but I'm not sure. Either way, I'm sure they're adding a bunch of sensors and cameras to the inside of the launch mount so they can see everything and not show it to us. So yeah, it's quite wild. And it took a lot of time to figure all this stuff out. So hopefully you guys can understand why I did not want to talk about it during the show initially, but I have since changed my mind. So yeah, that's really all I had about the launch mount for this week. And we're getting super close to the end of the show now. I feel like I've been talking for like 30 minutes straight. I'm going to make sure that we don't have any questions so I can also get a little drink of water here.
We do have questions, actually. We have quite a few questions. So I have a question. I'll start it off from Chloe Dance. They want to know, do we know why the hold down clamp was removed and then reinstalled a few hours later?
Oh, yeah.
Is that the reason for the aborted lift for B7? And you want Jack C or Maxie to answer while you get your sip of
Yeah, go
water?
ahead. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I guess that could be one of the contributing factors to the no lift yesterday.
Well, the weird part is that it looked like they were going to lift because they had the crane set up to take off the QD temporary QD plate, and it looked like they were gonna go, but then you see them not lift, and now they're taking off. They took off that clamp, and now they're setting all of the stuff back up on the servicing platform. It's very strange.
Could be another classic case of plans changing literally right at the last minute. We've seen it happen so many times in the past in Starbase.
Yeah.
Yeah, it can get pretty hard to keep up with at times.
Yeah, it's I don't know what their pre-lift kind of checklist is, but maybe they were testing out the grabby bits, and that one was having some type of issue. I don't know.
We have. I thought I had a video of it, but I don't have it yet. It showed. I will get it, but of the clamp being removed. Maybe I do have it. I don't know. Oh,
I mean, the other case that could be sort of communication not happening in a certain area. So they
I
could have
don't.
been planned.
I don't have it, and you know whose fault it is? Jeff
Pixies.
Allen. If you guys have seen Jeff Allen in the chat, let him know it's his fault. I don't have it. So yeah, but you know, in my opinion, I think that they did a load test on all of them this week, and with the full clamp actuation test, like if something didn't go right on that, they could have removed it. I don't know. Like, yeah, I mean, it's tough to say that there's so much happening during that test that I wouldn't be surprised if individual parts needed to get replaced or something like that. But yeah, that could be one of the reasons. And hey, Indy, I think we had a question from Rocket Prophet as well that
The one from
we were
earlier.
waiting. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, he wanted to know, do we know why the hold down clamp was removed and then reinstalled a few hours
Same
later?
question.
And was that the reason for the aborted lift?
Okay, so there was two people asking that question.
There
Gotcha.
are. I can give
Cool.
you another
Well,
one
hopefully
too.
that was a
now.
good answer.
I thought so. IDK asks, will they cover back the back of the OLM legs with more plates to protect all the pipes on the back?
I hope.
Yeah. We all
Yeah,
hope.
I had a dream about it last night actually, but
What was
I
the
woke
dream?
up and it was still the same.
What was your dream? Maybe it's
That
a premonition.
They
Okay.
covered up the legs. Put some clothes on her. I'm looking for a good view of the whole thing.
I thought you just liked her legs. Anyways. Paw Angel asks, do you think the KFC orbital mount will be much simpler? Will it be different?
Oh, it'll be different for sure.
Simpler,
Yeah.
probably not.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the complexity is just, I mean, there's a lot related to the vehicle. I mean, the whole QD system and all of that. I mean, you can't have that different between OLMs. So to a certain degree, they're kind of stuck.
Yeah,
Fair
it's
enough.
probably going to take a few generations to get things really refined and a bit more simplified.
55 Chevy Guy Steve asks, why are the engine QD mating at an angle?
Probably just to help with the disconnection. So if you're going straight on, straight horizontal, and Yeah, I'm trying to think how to explain it.
I don't think they've always been at an angle. I think that they changed that in between Booster 4 and Booster 7.
Something about the angling changed, yeah, with Raptor 2, I think.
Yeah, it was a Raptor 2 thing.
Yeah, the QD used to be angled up and to the right a little bit, I think.
Yeah,
And now it's just angled straight up.
Yeah, that's what it was. It was laterally tilted before.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
interesting feature.
I've got 3 more questions, and we are at the top of the hour. Shall we?
I got 3 more answers.
All
Or
right.
maybe they do. I don't. I got
All
a few.
right. So IDK asks, do they now need to create a Deluge in KFC? At KFC.
Well, they have installed that as well. They installed that yesterday, so they lifted in a huge Deluge ring. If you guys are following me on Twitter, you may have seen that, but if not, don't worry. I will show it to you right here.
Yeah, that thing's pretty huge.
Yeah,
And this is courtesy of Spaceflight Now. If you guys haven't subscribed to their channel, make sure you do so because they are really awesome and they have 24/7 Pad 39A cam. And this is where that ring goes. And on the right side, you can see what it looks like when it's underground. And while this loops again, I'm not going to show you guys the new version of it, but I'll show you a better version of the old version. If that makes sense. Let's see if I can find it really quick. Also, shout out to all the 3D artists who've been helping out with this because it's really awesome being able to visualize all this stuff. First of all, let's look at it naked.
Not naked.
This is what it looks like. And this is from Lola Matico 3D and Too Legit to Quit 3D and Benedict 3D. They are all part of the same crew and the name Virtual Space 3D. So they go under Lola Matico 3D on Twitter, but their actual account is Virtual Space 3D. So thank you to them for putting this together. And as I said, this is the old version of it. It doesn't have the actual inlets for the water, but you can see the 192 nozzles mounted onto the side of this. We've estimated these somewhere between 8 and 12 inches in diameter. So if you are small enough, you could probably fit in one of those if you wanted to, if you slipped and fell into that. But yeah, it just gives you an idea of how gigantic these are. I mean, you could definitely slide a dinner plate down every single one of these if you wanted to. Let me look at one more view of this in the ground. Oh, this is what we are assuming that it will look like in the ground. And again, the new version of this is way cooler because we have actually routed, they've actually routed all of the piping back to what we believe is the water tank. So yeah, this is going to be crazy. Initially, we thought this was going to be, or at least I thought it was going to be mounted up top and waterfall down, but it looks like it's going to probably shoot upwards, if I had to guess, probably like 10, 15 feet, like up to here. And then your exhaust comes down and exits out through the side of it. Not as cool as I was hoping. I feel like the waterfall will be more effective because you can't interrupt that, but you can theoretically interrupt this. But yeah, either way, that's what it looks like. Hopefully that answered the question.
Yeah, I think so. Last question. Can you talk about the use of the cable octopus connected to the crane? That's from Wes R.
Cable octopus?
You know, the squid that we see on the top of the OLM that they use for alignment?
Oh.
I'm pretty sure that's what the question is.
I would, but I have a whole YouTube video that explains it. So I could post that. I could post that in the chat if you would like.
It's actually a better explanation because he's very animated.
Oh yeah, that was and these skits are going to come back. I'm just temporarily reducing how many of them I'm doing because I'm
drained.
I am tired. Yes, I am. I haven't had a week off in a very long time, and I work 7 days a week, so it's been quite exhausting, I will say. But I can post a link to that in the chat if you guys would like to check it out if you haven't already. Oh man, I don't even have the chat open.
You could even just search for CSI Starbase, and then you could subscribe to the channel. And if you wanted, you could even be YouTube members, subscribers.
There we go.
And you can see all of the videos that Zach and Jeff make together. And they're
Oops.
actually really, really good. I learn a lot every time I watch them. It's actually kind of cool. Because I sit here with these dudes all the time and I listen to them talk, but I cannot connect the dots for the life of me. And I watch one of his videos and I'm like, oh my goodness. Okay. That's how it all goes.
Okay,
together.
that's in the chat now. Sorry about that. All right, well, with that, I think we're at the end of the show, right?
Sounds about right.
I believe so. Yeah.
All right, well, in that case, thanks to everybody who got us above 600 likes. We really appreciate all of you being here. It's awesome seeing this show grow every single day, or every week. And it's awesome sharing all this info with you guys. So hopefully you guys appreciate all the time that goes into it. And especially for Mauricio going out there to take all these images. Matter of fact, while we're saying our goodbyes, I'm going to show you guys something that Mauricio didn't tell me I could show you, but I'm going to show you anyways. I want you guys to know, oh no, where is it? What Mauricio goes through in order to get us all of these images. So I'll show you guys here. Let me make sure I'm showing the right screen first. 1 second. This is how much Mauricio cares about all of you. Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
Yikes.
And I think he needs some bigger boots, as you can tell. These are only going up to his ankles. So if you've ever wondered what Mauricio's feet look like, there they are.
That's not his feet. Those are his boots.
Yeah. And you can see all the puddles from where he's been walking.
For the second week in a row, poor guy had to trudge through this.
Yeah, so shout out to Mauricio for getting out there in the wetlands for us. Really appreciate every single week doing that. And yeah, that's all I have for you guys this week. I'll let everybody do their sign-offs. And thank you guys. We'll see you next week.
And now who are you going to toss it to? Anybody?
Oops. The ball's in the air. Max Q.
I'll take it. Yeah, it's been a pleasure joining the live stream again. And it's been great going through all of these photos with each and every one of you. And it's great to see so many familiar faces here. With that, I'll pass it on to Jax.
Why, thank you. Yeah, thanks for having me once again. It's usually pretty fun. Yeah, it was definitely fun.
Usually.
It's usually. But yeah, I don't know what else to say. Come
Well,
back next week.
Thank you guys for being here. It helps me a lot as well, having you guys on the show. Definitely, I'm sure the audience appreciates having some Starship experts, since I don't know what I'm talking about in that area. So thank you for that. Indy?
It's me. Thanks, guys. We appreciate you guys here every week. Come back and see us next week. We've got more. I appreciate all the gents. I know that this stream would not be the same without each one of them, and it wouldn't be the same without all of you guys in the chat. So thank you guys, tons and tons and tons. And Maria, hi, welcome to the show. We're ending now. Mauricio, I'll give it to you.
Yes, I want to thank everybody that joined us today for episode 42. If you can, share this video with somebody who hasn't, seen our content yet. And I already booked our next flyover. It's going to be for Wednesday, October 12th. So just stay tuned for that for the YouTube members and the Patreon members. I'll upload that as soon as I'm able to. And let's see what else. Who's going to do the sign off? Grandpa Joe couldn't make it today, so.
We'll just say, love you, bye. Love you, bye.
See ya.